What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 6SC. Chapter 126. The Holy Land Becomes Hell. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. To deal with them, there is no need to work hard, leave it to me. When the members of the Straw Hat Pirates heard Bai Yu's voice, their eyes lit up. Bai Yu is the backbone of Straw Hat crew. In everyone's heart, as long as Bai Yu is there, nothing can't be solved. It's the bastard again. When Kizaru heard Bai Yu's voice, his heart burst into flames. Don't be a bastard, I didn't do anything to you. The figure of Bai Yu suddenly appeared beside Kizaru. You. Kizaru was startled, he didn't notice any breath at all. Just like now, even if Bai Yu appeared in front of him, he couldn't even notice any breath. Actually, I don't have any interest in you. As long as you Marines don't take the initiative to provoke me, I'm lazy. 2-3 has to take care of you, go back and tell the 5 elders, don't provoke me, and everyone will be safe. Bai Yu's face turned cold. If you annoy me, the Holy Land will turn into hell. Are you going to openly confront the world government? Kizaru frowned. The 5 elders will not be threatened by anyone. Then try it. Why do you still want to fight me? Bai Yu's eyes were very calm, without a trace of turbulence. Forget it, I will report your words to the 5 elders, and you will have to bear the consequences yourself. Kizaru sighed. The current Ziyu felt too dangerous for him. Just like when he killed Akainu during Summit War. He felt that if he did it, he might die. This is, you don't have to worry about it, goodbye will not send. Bai Yu turned around and left without looking at Kizaru and Fujitora. The others glanced at Fujitora and Kizaru, and followed Bai Yu. Kizaru and Fujitora looked at each other and turned away without saying anything. Master Garp, you haven't left yet. Bai Yu looked at Garp and said with a smile. Although he was in the cabin just now, he knew exactly what happened outside. You guys are really getting more and more terrifying. Garp said very seriously. He remembered that a few months ago, Bai Yu was someone who couldn't even know haki. Now they dare to directly confront the world government. It's all well taught by the old man. If you hadn't taught us haki back then, we'd probably all be wiped out by you now. Hearing Bai Yu's words, Garp's face was very ugly. Sengoku on the side also looked at Garp angrily. He knew it was all the work of this old bastard. Bai Yu, even if your strength is good now, it's not enough to fight against the world government, you're committing suicide. Sengoku said aside, isn't it bad to have a broken arm? Bai Yu suddenly appeared in front of Sengoku and grabbed Sengoku's arm. Bai Yu. Garp yelled quickly. Don't worry, I'm just helping RX Martial Marine. Bai Yu smiled and released Sengoku's arm. You. Just as Sengoku spoke, he found that his arm had recovered. Both of you are retired, and you have nothing to do with fishing. It's good to go to Happy Street and stop participating in these messy things. Bai Yu shook his head. The children on board are all experiments of the world government, you can take them away and send them back to their hometowns. Nami and the others took the child off the boat. The kids were still a little scared when they saw Garp and Sengoku. Go. They are all good Marines and will take you home. Nami said softly. Thank you brother and sister. We will become pirates when we grow up. Well, I want to be a big hero like my brother and sister. Goodbye brothers and sisters. Although these children are huge in size, they are actually a group of simple-minded children. Garp looked at the words of these children, and he also thought of what Luffy said when he was a child, and the eyes of these children were a bit complicated. Where did you find these children? Sengoku looked at these giant babies in amazement. There are some things that I don't need to say too clearly. I have left a fig leaf for you in front of these children. After Bai Yu finished speaking, he turned around and returned to the pirate ship. If it weren't for Garp's reasons, he wouldn't even bother to talk so much nonsense with Sengoku. Come on, children, Grandpa takes you home. Garp glanced at Sengoku, the dark side of world government he knew all too well. So all these years, he has not been admiral. Holy Land, Mariajoy. Inside the 5 elders conference room. Where does Aokiji stand in order to report the situation? After listening to the 5 old men, all their faces were solemn. Go back, Marine has done a good job recently, restore Marine's strength as soon as possible. The bearded 5 elders spoke. Yes. Xing Tan nodded in agreement, then turned and left. After Aokiji left, the 5 elders with the knives said, or I'll take care of that Bai Yu. Have you forgotten the rules laid down by Imam Sama? The bald 5 elders said coldly. Since he said so, we will observe it for a while. If there is any change, it will not be too late for us to report to Lord Yimu. Curly hair 5 elders said. Yes, what we need to solve now is the problem of the revolutionary army. The bearded 5 elders spoke. That guy is useless. Since the dragon wants to exchange, let him exchange with him, so that they can find their hiding place, and then they can be wiped out. Said the blonde 5 elders. The 5 old men looked at each other and nodded in agreement. Wanokuni, the island of ghosts. Doflamingo. 3.6 Do you want to die? Kaido said coldly to the phone bug. I don't want to die, but Kaido-sama, you should also know that by Yu's strength, just like me, I'm not his opponent at all. Doflamingo's voice came out of the phone bug's mouth. I will let the 3 disasters go to support you, you should know how to do it. Kaido said. Thank you, Kaido-sama's trust, I know how to do it, and there will be no problem with the artificial devil fruit factory. Doflamingo assured immediately. Kaido hung up the phone bug directly. Mom, you 3 go to Dressrosa. Yes. Sanjiao immediately took orders. Chapter 127. Welcome to Dressrosa. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Impressive. Luffy's eyes lit up when he saw his walking and talking toy. It's really amazing. Franky grabbed a toy and looked at it curiously, as if preparing to take it apart. Don't make trouble, it's people changing. Bai Yu didn't hide it either and said directly. People have changed. How can this be? It should be easy to die when a person becomes a toy, right? Robin. Don't talk. Several people were frightened. I thought it was fun. After all, they had never seen a toy that could walk and talk on its own. But when Bai Yu said this, everyone felt terrified. Bai Yu, what the hell is going on? Nami asked aside. The situation was similar to the Vivi's at that time, except that the people here were smarter than Crocodile and successfully seized power and became king. These toys are basically those who have been transformed by rebels, who have been turned into toys, and will disappear in this world, and everyone who knows them will forget their existence. That's why these 12 countries are like this, and some people have no idea that their loved ones have been turned into toys. Bai Yu explained it briefly. Doflamingo is indeed smarter than Crocodile, after all, it is also to seize power. Crocodile has planned for so many years, but the result has not been successful. Disappear from the world. What a terrifying ability. Vivi was very shocked, but fortunately she met Bai Yu and Straw Hat Crew. Otherwise, her kingdom might be the same as here. Even, under the tyrannical rule of Crocodile, worse than here. The king of this country is one of the current Shichibukai, Doflamingo. Robin said aside. Good. Bai Yu nodded. Bai Yu, what kind of person was the original king of this country? Vivi asked. The original king was the Liku family. He was a very wise king and was loved by the people, but it was because of this that Doflamingo had a chance. Bai Yu sighed. King Riku was indeed a good king. But in the face of great strength, everything is so fragile. In this world, the strong are respected. Strong can have everything. Bai Yu. Let's help them, shall we? Vivi felt the same way and looked at Bai Yu begging. We are pirates, not heroes. There are too many things that are unfair in this world. Don't you want to take care of us? Bai Yu shook his head. Whoever rules here has absolutely nothing to do with him. Hero. He won't do it. Duh, you're going to tear up my old bottoms. It's really not polite at all. Doflamingo walked over with the family cadres. Do people like you still care about this? Bai Yu sneered. Duh, welcome to the Straw Hat Pirates to Dressrosa. Doflamingo bowed and saluted, very polite. He really didn't dare to confront the Straw Hat Pirates in the open. Not to mention Bai Yu, none of the others are fuel-efficient lamps. Therefore, if you want to deal with the Straw Hat Pirates, you can only outsmart them. The best outcome would be for Kaido to fight the two of them, with him on the sidelines. Everyone, the banquet is ready, let's go to the banquet first, and the others will talk later. Monet said from the side. I want to eat meat. Luffy was delighted to hear the banquet. The Straw Hat Crew came to the palace for a banquet. Passionate beauties, delicious food, delicious wine. The crowd had a great time. Even Bai Yu drank a lot of wine. The banquet lasted all day and night. Everyone has eaten, drank too much, and is tired from playing. All fell down in the banquet hall and fell asleep immediately. Young master, this is too simple, let's do it directly. Diamante whispered beside Doflamingo. Do you want to die? Shut me up. Even if Doflamingo wanted to take on the Straw Hat Crew, it wasn't now. If he makes a move rashly, he will only die. He didn't believe that Bai Yu would be defenseless against him. Moreover, Bai Yu is a terrifying being who can kill even Admiral Akainu. They were definitely not enough for Bai Yu to kill alone. Most importantly, his intention was to get Straw Hat Crew and Kaido into a fight, not him outright. That way, whether it's a Straw Hat Crew win, or a Kaido win, there won't be any loss for him. Straw Hat Crew can agree to any conditions, even if they want this country, give it to him, understand what I mean. Don't mess around, their strength is more terrifying than you think. Doflamingo is a serious warning. He was really afraid that his men would take action on Straw Hat Crew without authorization. They don't have the strength to compete with Straw Hat Crew yet. The same goes for 213 plus the Three Beasts Pirates. Yes, young master, all take orders immediately. After the Don Quixote family left the banquet hall, the sleeping Bai Yu sat up. This guy is really smart. But he's also a restless guy. If you want to use him, be careful. Enel also woke up. Go to sleep, it's been a day and a night. Bai Yu closed his eyes and started to sleep. When he recalled the fusion skills at that time, he was also a little scared, and almost died. At that time he just wanted to integrate a skill. But I didn't expect that all the skills were swarmed later. The result is that all skills come together. He hasn't figured out the specifics yet. However, what is certain is that his current strength has undergone a qualitative change. His casual strike is equivalent to the previous full-strength strike. If it's a complete outbreak, he hasn't tried it yet. The most important thing is that this is not the limit, Shira can still improve. Ding. Crew Chopper with full master skills healing jutsu. Exclusive skills are being generated. Chapter 128. Eudemon's Devil Fruit. The sudden notification sound made Bai Yu stunned. He hadn't heard the system's beep for a long time. And the moment the beep sounded, he clearly felt that his strength had increased. He was stunned when he saw his chopper's second skill. Bai Yu, I seem to be getting stronger. Chopper came to Bai Yu and said with a confused expression. You have completely mastered the healing jutsu skill, and it will definitely become stronger. Bai Yu smiled and touched Chopper's head. Really? So can I learn a second skill? Chopper was instantly refreshed and not sleepy at all. Of course, I'll give it to you now, and when they wake up tomorrow, you can give them a surprise. Bai Yu said with a smile, while also imparting new skills to Chopper. Turtle School Qigong. A unique trick from the world of Dragon Ball. Due to the different rules of the world, the skill effect is different. Please experience it yourself. Quote. That's right, it is this skill that is enough to destroy the planet, the Turtle School Qigong. Of course, the power of Turtle Qigong is determined by the user. The stronger the user, the stronger the Turtle Qigong. It is estimated that it is impossible to reach the level of destroying the planet. But as long as Chopper trains hard, it's completely possible to destroy an island with one blow. Bai Yu, you are so nice. After Chopper learned about the practice and usage of Turtle Qigong, he immediately thanked him excitedly. If you like it, go to sleep. Bai Yu smiled and closed his eyes. Because he found that the new skill Turtle Qigong he had just acquired was automatically merging with the Shira skill. Although the process is a bit slow, the two forces are indeed actively merging. After waking up the next day, Chopper couldn't wait to show off his new skills. That's amazing. Chopper, you got a second skill. Let's see what skills it is. Don't be a monster. Robin, ha ha ha, Chopper, let's see your new skills. Everyone laughed and looked at Chopper expectantly. Chopper's vanity is greatly satisfied. After all, besides Zoro, he is the only one who has acquired the second skill. Since you think so, then I'll show you my Turtle Qigong sect. Chopper is very proud. Then the two little hooves came together. Turtle School Qigong. The blue energy light balls were continuously condensed in his two hooves. What? Chopper pushed with both hands, and a blue energy light ball flew out. Boom. A large hole was blasted out of the wall of the banquet hall in an instant. Amazing. Chopper, you can shoot lasers. Luffy's eyes glowed with gold. Hey, even if you praise me, I won't be happy. Chopper twisted happily. What a mighty power. It's really strong, and it's a pure energy attack. It's definitely not good to hit the body. Chopper is getting stronger again. Hearing the compliments from the other people, Chopper was so happy that he almost fainted. Okay, the environment here is still very good, everyone can go around, we will rest here for a few days before leaving. Bai Yu said, if the adults want to go out to play, I can be the guide. Violet came in. Also, no one is more familiar with this place than you. Bai Yu smiled slightly. Dressrosa's princess is a guide, this treatment is not bad, although she is a former princess. Of course, Bai Yu also understood that Ovalet was close to their purpose. But he had absolutely no interest in this woman. If it was Rebecca, he would still be interested. But after thinking about it, that little girl should be only 14 years old now. Just forget it. The smile on Violet's face froze, but it quickly returned to its natural state. With a smile, he said, the most lively place in Dressrosa is the bullfighting arena. Now a large-scale competition is being held, and the champion can get a devil fruit. Great, I'm going to the competition. Luffy immediately raised his hand and shouted. Captain Luffy is going to race in person. Violet looked at Luffy a little strangely, and the 5 emperors of the New World, who offered a reward of 2.5 billion Baileys, actually wanted to participate in the bullfighting arena in person. Why can't I participate? Luffy asked suspiciously. Of course, it's just your identity. Let him go, just assign him an identity. Bai Yu interrupted Violet's words. Still Bai Yu is nice to me. Luffy smiled immediately. Okay, I'll make arrangements right now, is there anyone else who wants to participate? Violet asked. Are there any masters participating in the competition? Zoro asked. There are also many big pirates with a bounty of over 100 million, and many powerful sword fighters. As for the strength, I don't know too much, it should be very strong, and this devil fruit is a rare zone mythical beast. A lot of people came. Violet explained patiently. You demons. Doflamingo really can. Bai Yu was also interested, and unexpectedly, there was even a phantom beast. This thing is even rarer than Logia. If that's the case, then I'll also participate. Zoro thought for a while and said. The champion must be mine. Sanji said. The lascivious chef, I've wanted to chop you down for a long time. Zoro said coldly. 3 great swordsmen. Sanji showed no weakness. The champion is mine. Luffy shouted loudly. The old man also wants to play, just to practice the waterway. Jinbei stood up and said. Violet's forehead was sweating. All these people participated, this game was really too lively. I hope the arena doesn't get demolished. Anyway, Doflamingo also said, very good, no matter what the request is. Usopp, won't you join in the fun? Bai Yu asked. I don't care, I'll go to other places to see, I still have to buy a lot of things, so I won't participate. How dare Usopp compete with these people for the championship? That's no different from courting death. He didn't want to be abused by these monsters. Then the four of them, arrange a stand for us. Bai Yu said. Okay. Violet nodded and immediately turned to leave. He was going to tell Doflamingo the news. After all, it's no small matter for Straw Hat crew to compete in the arena. And what she didn't know was, the 3 plagues of the beasts pirates also signed up. The attraction of the phantom species devil fruit is a very big teacher. Many big pirates from New World are attracted. This gladiatorial match is definitely the best one in years. Chapter 129. The big melee begins. The bullfighting arena was very lively and packed. Because the prize for this competition is an phantom beast species that is rarer than Logia. Although I don't know what the exact fruit is. But what is certain is that any phantom beast is very powerful. Such as Kaido's blue dragon fruit, and Marco's phoenix fruit, Kurozumi's Orochi's Hachichi Orochi, and Sengoku's Buddha fruit. Any fruit is very powerful. Of course, Kurozumi Orochi has no ability to develop the ability of Orochi at all. But this did not affect the position of the Udemons in everyone's minds. Moreover, it is said that this phantom beast species is a very rare bird fruit phantom beast species. The phantom beast species with the ability to fly is undoubtedly a life-saving ability. After all, nothing is more important than life. Doflamingo is really generous, even bringing out such a good devil fruit. Take it out, so what if you can get it or not is another matter. I think it's mostly a gimmick, how rare the phantom beasts are, and the fruit of birds and birds. Should be. No way. Doflamingo is Shichibukai after all, and he is also the king of a country, wouldn't he do such a thing? Whether it's true or not, this time, there are a lot of big pirates with a reward of over 100 million coming to 213, so there are not many opportunities to fight like this. The pirates talked a lot, some believed, some didn't. Welcome to Dressrosa Bullfighting Arena. On the big screen of Diamante's arena, the sound spread throughout the arena. Many people have questioned whether we are the real devil fruit that will take out the bird and bird fruit, and now I'll let everyone see if it's true. Diamante said and took out a red devil fruit in the shape of a pear. Bird fruit, mythical beast species Suzaku form. The voice fell, and the audience was in an uproar. What? It's the legendary bird Suzaku. How can this be? If you get this fruit, then you have the hope of becoming the pirate king. This devil fruit is mine. No one wants to rob me. Dream. I'm going to set this fruit. The battle has not yet started, and the players who signed up almost started. But thinking that this is Doflamingo's territory, he immediately became honest. And Beast's pirates 3 times looked at devil fruit in Diamante's hands. The 3 of them really wanted to grab the fruit now. But thinking of this mission, I still prepare to win this vermilion bird fruit through the competition. Is Suzaku powerful? Luffy looked puzzled. Nonsense. Of course it's very powerful, it's a legendary bird, and Kaido's blue dragon fruit is a superpower of the same level. Sanji said angrily. Any kind of magical beast devil fruit will have superpowers, just like Kaido's blue dragon fruit, although it has no wings, it can fly. Although, I don't know what kind of superpower the Suzaku fruit will come with, but the legendary Suzaku is a divine bird that controls the flames of the world, and its abilities will definitely not be weak. Jinbei's knowledge is much more than Luffy and the others. Therefore, he understands the value of this devil fruit better. Since Doflamingo brought out such devil fruit, it definitely has a purpose. It's getting more and more interesting, and I hope to meet a few more powerful people. Zoro's fighting spirit is rising, he has no interest in devil fruit or anything. The only thing he's interested in now is a master swordsman. Don't wait to be defeated by others, then you will be embarrassed. Sanji sneered aside. I'll kill you later. Zoro gritted his teeth and said. Don't be fooled, this game is not easy. Jinbei reminded the 3 seriously. Okay, BCDG, please come and draw lots. Everyone is divided into 4 groups, and only one person from each group can participate in the finals. In the end, the 4 finalists will win the final championship. Diamante said and began to let everyone start drawing lots. Luffy was placed in Group A. Jinbei, Sanji and Zoro were all grouped together. The lascivious chef, are you ready to be cut by me? Zoro is very happy that he can finally clean up this lascivious chef. Don't cry if you get kicked away. Sanji also smiled and challenged directly. Jinbei was also a little speechless looking at the 2 people who were bickering. 3 disasters and 3 people were divided into 3 different groups. Of course, this was all planned by Doflamingo. He had long known that the Straw Hat crew would definitely be in the race. Therefore, it was specially arranged to be in 3 groups 3 times, and then 3 people could deal with 1 person of Straw Hat crew. Even Straw Hat Luffy wasn't much better against 3 combined offenses. If you're lucky, you might kill Straw Hat Luffy. At that time, the Straw Hat Pirates will have a battle with Kaido. And he will be the biggest beneficiary of this war. When Bai Yu saw the result of the lottery, a smile appeared on his face. Doflamingo thought so carefully, how could he not see it? However, he doesn't care. In the face of absolute strength, any conspiracy and tricks are paper tigers. What attracted Bai Yu most was a blonde boy. Because the weapon in this blonde boy's hand is a water pipe. Dragon, this bastard, doesn't want to take the blame with this devil fruit, right? Bai Yu thought suddenly. The game is about to start. Please go down and prepare for the 3 groups of B, C, and D, and all the players of Group A, please come to the broadcast station to gather. Diamante's voice sounded again. The knockout is a melee mode, and the person who stands on the ring at the end is the final winner. It's a melee. This is too messy. But I like it. There are at least 100 people in this group, and killing more than 100 people is not an easy task. That's exciting. Kill it. Only the strong can live to the end. This is the real fight. Let's fight. The audience was very excited. Because nothing is more exciting and bloody than a big dogfight. The ugliness of human nature is exposed at this moment. Battle begins. Chapter 130. 5 Emperors Luffy. Battle begins. Hundreds of people immediately began to fight. The scene was very chaotic. Many people didn't survive even a second, and were dealt with by their opponents. This is the bullfighting arena, there are no rules. The only rule is that the winner is king. You can use any means here. As long as you can kill your opponent, win. The more people died, the more excited the audience was. And Luffy hadn't reacted yet, completely unaware of the situation. Go to hell. Suddenly someone attacked Luffy. Never. Luffy kicked the man out. The person who was about to attack Luffy stopped for a moment. Decisive substitution attack. What's this? It's not fun at all. Luffy immediately lost interest. He just wants to find a powerful person to fight against. But none of the people here are strong. You look familiar. Guy Pullman walks up to Luffy. The current Luffy has been disguised and used a fake name, so people who are not familiar can't really recognize it. Of course, if Luffy used rubber fruit, it would have been discovered. But Bai Yu put a sea stone around his neck in order for Luffy to practice. In this way, even if Luffy wants to use the fruit ability, he can't use it, and it can be regarded as a kind of cultivation. You look very strong, let's have a fight. Luffy saw that no one dared to shoot Guy Pullman, and he was also a little wary. Then let me see who you are. Guy Pullman's voice fell, and he appeared in front of Luffy, ready to take off the disguise on his face. After all, this is not a bright battle, and many people disguise their identities for the sake of face, which is also a normal thing. Like Guy Pullman, who himself is Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral. This can't be found by you. Luffy raised his arms to resist Guy Pullman's attack, and at the same time raised his feet and swept out to counterattack. Iron Body. When Guy Pullman blocked Luffy's kick, clenched his right fist, wrapped armament haki, and threw a punch. Luffy hits the same punch. Boom. The fists collide. What a strong haki. Guy Pullman immediately noticed the strength of Luffy haki and was shocked. But the movement of the hands is not slow at all. Crazy fast attack. Internal destruction. Going through the surface, destroying the interior is wrong. Luffy kept thinking about what Bai Yu said. But I can't find any feeling. Quickly attack Guy Pullman. He's practicing the use of haki. Guy Pullman spotted Luffy's state immediately. Moonwalk. Immediately dodged Luffy's attack and jumped into the air. Marine skills. Luffy frowned. Successful. A man suddenly attacked Luffy. Mean. Luffy frowned. What he hated most was sneak attacks. Armed fist slammed out mercilessly. Boom. Before the fist could touch anyone, the sneak attack flew out and fell into the water outside the broadcasting station. Directly eaten by fighting fish. Luffy froze for a moment. Not because of Duyu, but because he seemed to have done the punch just now. He didn't touch anyone, but knocked them out. Then he struck while the iron was hot and started attacking others, trying to remember the feeling just now. But I couldn't find that feeling at all. How holy are you? Guy Pullman was also very surprised when he saw Luffy's progress. He knows several levels of haki's cultivation, but there are too few people who can really do internal destruction. Boom. So strong. Luffy was startled and hurriedly ducked. The two fought together again. This time Luffy had the successful experience of the last time, and Luffy became more and more proficient in the use of haki. Sparring opponents like Guy Pullman can still be under pressure without Luffy using his fruit power and 8 inner gates. There are fewer and fewer people on the arena, and the strength of the remaining people is not to be underestimated. One of the tall, bald heads frowned at Guy Pullman and Luffy. Why does that little guy look so familiar? Go to hell. Seeing that the bald head was distracted, someone immediately launched a sneak attack. Ask for flowers. 8 punches. Boom. The attacker was instantly knocked out and fell to the ground. Green peppers with cones. It's him. The man who once offered a bounty of more than 500 million Baileys in his prime. I heard his head was flattened by marine Garp. I can't believe that such a legendary task has also come to the bullfighting arena. It seems that the final winner of this competition is full of suspense. Diamante's excited voice spread throughout the arena. Asshole. The green pepper was exposed, and I was very upset. Especially when I think about that bastard Garp, who can't even open the treasure. 30 years. Grandpa hit. Luffy blurted out subconsciously. Grandfather. Green Pepper's ears were very smart, and instantly looked at Luffy. And Guy Pullman was also stunned. At this moment, he understood why the person in front of him looked so familiar. Straw Hat Luffy. Guy Pullman roared. His brother died the last time he rounded up Straw Hat crew, so he entered Dressrosa alone. It's all about finding the Straw Hat crew and avenging the brothers. Now that I finally see myself, how could I let it go? I'm not. Luffy turned his head, looked at the sky, and said with a guilty conscience. No lie at all. Garpman spit out, and the fire is full. Garp's grandson. Green Pepper also rushed over angrily, since he can't find Garp to take revenge, then grab his grandson to relieve his hatred. Face off against two powerful opponents to attack. Luffy also had Seastone suppressing strength on him, and was suppressed immediately. The Green Pepper jumped high, head down, and fell like a meteorite. 8 punches. Martial head. Boom. The powerful impact washed away all the camouflage on Luffy. There were also cracks in the broadcasting station. And the Seastone on Luffy's neck fell to the ground. Straw Hat. Pirate Captain Straw Hat Luffy. The 5 Emperors with a reward of 2.5 billion Baileys. Oh my god. This battle can actually see the new Emperor. The moment to see Luffy for who he is. There was an immediate uproar at the scene. 1. Chapter 131. Conqueror's Haki. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Luffy's identity was exposed, and everyone at the scene was very shocked. After all, the identity of the 5th Emperor is there. And the bounty for all the members of the Straw Hat Pirates is ridiculously high. The most important thing is that it has only been a few months since the Straw Hat Pirates were offered a bounty for the first time, and less than a year. It took less than a year to go from obscurity to the current Emperor of New World. At such a speed, no one would not pay attention to the Straw Hat Pirates. It turned out to be the Straw Hat Luffy, which is really interesting. Interesting? Damn, devil fruit has nothing to do with us. It's not about devil fruit, it's about whether we can survive. If you can beat the Straw Hat Luffy, you'll be world famous. Defeat. Do you think you are the other 4 emperors? Or Marine Admiral? I give up. I give up. Of the remaining few people in Group A, many chose to quit immediately. But there are several others who are not planning to quit. If they can beat Straw Hat Luffy, then they can be famous. This is a rare opportunity. This idiot. Zoro couldn't help but complain. Isn't this something that was expected? Sanji shook his head helplessly. Wait a minute. That's us. Our group of people is very strong. The breath of that person makes me feel very familiar. Be careful. Jinbei looked at the masked man and said. The masked man also looked at the 3 of them, his eyes very bad. Really, Bai Yu said that he can't reveal his identity, and he can't use his full strength. Luffy was helpless. Full force. Guy Pullman just thought that he had played against Luffy before, and Luffy didn't seem to use the fruit ability. Second stop. Luffy instantly went into second gear. Now he wants to get into second gear, very simple. Rubber should be shot. Iron body. Guy Pullman hurriedly shouted. Boom. Cough. A mouthful of blood spurted out and he knelt on the ground. May heaven be without iron body. So strong. This is the true strength of the 5 emperors. One hit kill. Hi. The few other people who didn't quit the game immediately took a deep breath, already thinking of quitting in their hearts. With such strength, how can they still have the courage to fight? Straw Hat Luffy. Green Pepper roared, and Conqueror's Haki cast, crushing Luffy. You even have Conqueror's Haki. Luffy casts Conqueror's Haki confrontation with doubts. Boom. Invisible power radiates all around. How can ordinary people withstand the confrontation of Conqueror's Haki, and just fainted a lot? Conqueror's Haki dissipated, Green Pepper's jumping high. 8 Chong fist, martial head turn. Boom. The huge body of the Green Pepper fell from the sky like a cannonball. Luffy ducked quickly. At this time, the body of the Green Pepper rotates, like a spinning top. So strong. Luffy felt that the person in front of him was stronger than the person just now. The Green Pepper stopped turning and looked at Luffy angrily. Your grandfather ruined everything for me, and I ruined his grandson. My grandfather beat you up, you go to him to get revenge, what's up with me? Luffy shouted loudly. This shout was heard by Garp and Sengoku who had just arrived. Stinky boy. Garp's forehead was bulging with anger, and he wanted to go up and give Luffy a love fist now. Ha ha ha. Sengoku laughs with the senbei in his hand. Asshole. Garp snatched the senbei from Sengoku's hand and poured the whole package into his mouth. That's mine. Sengoku was furious. Ah. Garp threw the empty bag directly to Sengoku. Green peppers are like missiles on the battlefield. Constant bombing. The few people who didn't quit were also directly hit by the green peppers. There were only 2 of them left on the entire station. The Green Pepper jumped high again, this time jumping very high, rushing directly to the clouds. The profound truth of 8 Chongquan, no tapered dragon, no tapered nail. All the haki hit the top of the head. If you are hit by this blow, you will definitely be shattered. Luffy closed his eyes and haki began to wrap around his fist. Begin the session with the feeling that it just succeeded. Just when the Green Pepper was about to hit Luffy. Luffy opened his eyes, hands clenched into fists, wrapped around Haki's punch. Boom. The huge force made the ring begin to shatter. And Luffy's fist didn't touch the Green Pepper's head. Green Pepper is not reconciled, he has lost to Garp, and now he is defeated by Garp's grandson. In this case, how can he still gain a foothold in the Land of Flowers, and how can he gain a foothold in the Eight Treasures Navy? Little devil, go to hell, Green Pepper roared, and Haki opened up. Green Pepper's this bastard. Garp clenched his fists and was about to charge. At this moment, a trace of black lightning appeared on Luffy's fist. What? Luffy roared and punched out. Boom. The round head of the Green Pepper instantly became like a pointed cone. The pointy head slammed into the ring. The broadcast began to shatter in an instant. Luffy hurriedly raised his arms, grabbed the unconscious Green Pepper, threw it ashore, and jumped over himself. Hee, I won. Luffy grinned happily. Not only did he win, he also learned to sabotage inside. Fantastic. The winner of this battle is Straw Hat Luffy. Diamante's voice sounded again. Unfortunately, the audience at the scene basically fainted, and no one cheered for Luffy. This guy actually entangled Conqueror's haki. 3.6. Bai Yu was also a little surprised. Conqueror's haki winding, he is just getting started, or because of the guidance of Rayleigh. Luffy cast it directly and unintentionally. Although it is not even a beginner, it is already incredible. You must know that there are not many people in this world who have Conqueror's haki, and there are very few people who can entangle Conqueror's haki. Anyone who is a Grandmaster Conqueror's haki is definitely a strong one. The first fight was so exciting. It's been years since the bullfighting arena had such a great fight. Thanks to Captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, Monkey D. Luffy, for the great fight. However, because the ring is damaged, the second fight has been postponed until tomorrow. See you tomorrow everyone. Diamante turned off the phone bug after he finished speaking. Chapter 132, The Disappeared Whitebeard Pirates. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Naval Headquarters. The vermilion bird fruit must not fall into the hands of those pirates with bad intentions. Aokiji yelled at the phone bug. I'm sorry Marshal, I've been eliminated and I don't have the qualifications to compete. Guy Pullman said helplessly. He also knew that this mighty devil fruit could not fall into the hands of the pirates. But his strength is limited, and it is not bad that he is not dead. You stay in Dressrosa to inquire about the information, I will arrange reinforcements, and even if it is a hard grab, I will grab the vermilion bird fruit. Aokiji gave the order directly. A powerful Udemon species can completely cultivate an admiral-level combat power. This is also the high-end combat power he lacks the most. It seems that this time the headquarters also value this Suzaku fruit very much. If I can get it, maybe I can become an admiral. Guy Pullman brings a smile to his face at the thought of becoming an admiral. Completely unnoticed, a cloud of slime approached him. What is this? Guy Pullman, caught in the slime, screamed. The other losers also shouted. But the toughness and stickiness of this mucus are very strong, and the Route 12 can't break free. All losers were pulled out of the room. Subsequently, Dressrosa added a lot of toys. No one knows because these people have disappeared from this world. Disappeared from everyone's memory, only they themselves knew who they were. At this time, Bai Yu, who was shopping with his 3 daughters and Chopper, suddenly stopped. What's wrong? Nami asked curiously. Do you remember who Luffy won in the end? Bai Yu asked. Luffy doesn't seem to remember the defeat, and those people couldn't beat him anyway. Nami shook his head. Forgotten. Robin doesn't remember either. I don't even remember. Did Luffy beat anyone really bad? Vivi asked suspiciously. I forgot, too. It's strange that I can't remember. Chopper scratched his head and struggled so hard that he couldn't remember anything. It's all right, I'm just asking. Bai Yu shook his head. He knew that those who lost were turned into toys, but the memory of those people in his mind did not disappear. After thinking about it, he can only attribute himself to be a traveler, and the curse power of this world cannot affect him. Otherwise there is no other way to explain it. Mr. Bai Yu, excuse me. A blonde teenager came over with a backpack. You're finally here, didn't you meet Luffy? Bai Yu smiled and looked at Sabo. It's not the time to surprise him when the time comes. Sabo said and bowed to Bai Yu. Thank you, if it weren't for you, I still don't know when I'll be able to regain my memory. You're welcome, my 3 brothers and I are also destined. Bai Yu waved his hand. Brothers Sabo and Ace are still very polite. Although only on the surface. But also much stronger than Luffy. Mr. Bai Yu, is it convenient to find a place to sit down and talk? Sabo asked. Let's go. Bai Yu nodded, knowing that Sabo was here to deliver something. And he also had something to ask Sabo about. Several people then came to a tavern. This is what the leader asked me to bring to you. Sabo hands the package to Bai Yu. Bai Yu immediately opened the package and found 2 devil fruits inside. It's not enough that he didn't read the devil fruit picture book and didn't recognize it. One is Paramesha transparent fruit, and the other is Paramesha silent fruit. Sabo said immediately. Dare to take out devil fruit so blatantly, it is estimated that this is the one in front of him. But this is also the reason for strength. It's these 2. Bai Yu smiled, the last ability user of the transparent fruit was killed by him. The silence fruit is also known as the most wasteful devil fruit. It doesn't do anything other than improve sleep quality. But that's only for others, it's more useful for him. The chief has something important to do and can't come to thank you in person, so he asked me to take him to thank you for your help. Sabo bowed again and thanked. It seems that your goal has been achieved, congratulations. Bai Yu immediately understood what Sabo meant, and it seemed that Long had reached an agreement with the world government. We're already discussing the exchange, and I was going to go, but I just knew you were here, so I came with you. Sabo didn't hide it either. You should know about the Whitebeard pirates. Bai Yu asked. After the Whitebeard pirates returned to the New World, a battle broke out between the three parties because Big Mom and Kaido were fighting over Whitebeard's territory. It is said that the three pirate groups fought for 3 days and 3 nights at that time, and it was only later that Big Mom and Kaido joined forces to defeat the weak Whitebeard. Not long after Whitebeard withdrew, news of the disbanding of the pirates came out, and there was no news from the captains at all, even Ace. As for where Whitebeard took the captains, even our intelligence network can't find out. However, recently, there is a guy who claims to be Whitebeard too and is attacking the 213 pirates that originally belonged to Whitebeard. A lot of pirates have already suffered from his poisonous hands, causing countless casualties. Hear Sabo's intel. Bai Yu was lost in thought. If it was Whitebeard in the victory period, he would not be afraid to face Kaido and Big Mom. But at this time, Whitebeard is old and frail. Even if Chopper treated him during the Summit War, it was a drop in the bucket. Facing 2-4 emperors, it would never be easier. The captains disappeared with Whitebeard, and they should have gone to Whitebeard's hometown. This also shows that the current situation of Whitebeard is very bad. As for the fool, he was too lazy to answer. Best not to let him meet. If encountered, he does not recommend making a deal with Zephyr with that idiot. I believe Zephyr should be very willing. Luffy has Ace's life card. After this is over, we will go to Ace. I will inform you when the time comes. Bai Yu thought for a while and said, "Thank you, Mr. Bai Yu, this is my life card, I will find you when the time comes." Sabo took out his life card and gave it to Bai Yu. "That's it, I'll go first." Bai Yu put away Devil Fruit, got up and left the tavern with the 3 daughters and Chopper. He's going back to absorb Devil Fruit. As for the transparent fruit, ask Sanji if he wants. Chapter 133, Invincible Ability. Luo's Condition. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Dressrosa, Royal Palace. The Straw Hat crew came together. Bai Yu took out 2 devil fruits. For him, taking devil fruit by the crew is no different from absorbing it himself. If someone wants to take these 2 fruits, then he does not recommend it. This is the fruit of silence. After eating it, no matter what you do, even if you shoot or bombard it with cannons, there will be no sound, and you can isolate any sound around you. Bai Yu briefly introduced, of course, it can also improve sleep quality. Hearing the introduction, Usopp was a little moved. This is simply the fruit tailored for snipers. What a horrible thing silent sniping is. But for others, this ability is completely useless. Of course, it is still useful for Zoro, at least it can improve the quality of sleep. However, after eating devil fruit, it means turning into a landlubber. This is the price of getting the devil fruit ability. Usopp, in fact, this fruit is more suitable for you, but it's up to you to eat it or not. Bai Yu said, "I eat." Usopp hesitated a little, then made up his mind. Bai Yu smiled slightly and threw the fruit directly to Usopp without saying anything. Gotcha. Usopp took a direct bite. It's so delicious. Usopp swears he's never eaten something so bad. Afterwards, everyone saw Usopp's mouth moving, but no sound came out. But soon recovered. Although the fruit of silence seems useless, if you develop it well, it is also very powerful. Bai Yu said and took out the transparent fruit. This fruit is the fruit that Sanji wants most, the transparent fruit. What? Sanji immediately stood up excitedly. This was the fruit he had always dreamed of. With this fruit ability, he can enter the girl's bathroom. Want a girl? Bai Yu smiled. In fact, he knew that the main reason Sanji wanted this devil fruit was to be able to enter the girl's bathroom. As for other abilities, he absolutely didn't care, or simply didn't think about it. Forget it, I will use my own abilities to enter the girl's bathroom. Sanji took a deep breath before making a decision. Does anyone want? Bai Yu didn't speak, in fact, this was what he expected. The others also shook their heads, no one wanted this fruit. Bai Yu put away devil fruit, ready to absorb it later. Dong dong dong. There was a knock on the door. Come in. Everyone is here, the dinner will start soon. Doflamingo came in. Behind him, Violet was carrying a plate covered with a piece. Brother Ming, you are such a good person. Luffy was immediately happy when he heard the meal. Thank you so much, Captain Luffy praised, this is what I should do. Doflamingo smiled and gave Violet a look. Violet immediately removed the cloth from the plate. A devil fruit appeared in front of everyone. This is a paramesha fruit. Devil fruit is very hard to find recently. I just found this one, and I sent it first. The devil fruit of the Udemon's type will also be sent after the game is over. Please also ask by Lord Yu, wait a few more days. Doflamingo's posture was very low, and he was called an adult. There is no way, this is the gap in strength. Okay, leave the fruit, you can go out. Bai Yu waved his hand, completely taking Doflamingo as his subordinate. Okay. Doflamingo nodded and motioned Violet to put the fruit down. Then the two went out. Damn it. Sooner or later I will kill you. Doflamingo clenched his fists and gritted his teeth angrily. As long as his plan is successful, not only Bai Yu is going to die, but Kaido isn't going to be any better. There's another devil fruit, who do you want? Bai Yu said with a smile. As for Doflamingo, in his eyes, he is nothing more than a tool man. I have no interest in devil fruit. Zoro shook his head, even Logia wasn't interested. I'm not interested either. Franky shook his head as well, he just wanted to make a stronger steel suit now. Sanji even refused the transparent fruit, so naturally he won't ask for it again. Neither Nami nor Vivi wanted it either. Jinbei cultivates water style and naturally won't eat devil fruit. Everyone else is capable. You go to dinner first, I'll be there later. Bai Yu planned to absorb devil fruit first, which would be valuable after turning it into his own strength. Luffy couldn't wait for a long time, Bai Yu ran out as soon as he finished speaking. The others also walked out one after another. Bai Yu was the only one left in the room. Take out devil fruit and start absorbing directly. Getting all three abilities today is very practical. The door fruit can not only carry out space transfer, but also can be used to avoid enemy attacks, as an emergency shelter. Needless to say, the transparent fruit, combined with the ability of the silent fruit, is simply invincible. Moreover, he felt that the ability of the fruit of silence was not as simple as blocking the sound. Observation haki is also the power of listening, and the fruit of silence can completely block the perception of seeing and seeing. Bai Yu pushed it casually, and a door appeared in the air. Inside is a green space. As a man, I really don't like this color. Immediately change the color of the alien space to white. Well done, that's about the same. Close the door, this ability should not be exposed for the time being. Although he felt that he was almost invincible now. But it's always good to be careful. After absorbing the abilities of these three fruits, the Shura skill became much stronger. He just wanted to go to dinner. Luo suddenly appeared in the room. I thought you wouldn't take the initiative to come to me. Quote. Bai Yu was not surprised at all. He knew Luo too well. Rocinante's death has a great impact on Luo, and he will never let go of Doflamingo's handsome. I know you don't care about Doflamingo's life or death, you just want to use his power. As long as you help me kill Doflamingo, I can do the surgery for you. Luo directly set out his own conditions. He believed that even a strong man like Bai Yu would not refuse this condition. Chapter 134. Dragon's Pride to be saved. If I remember correctly, the price of the surgery is your life, right? Bai Yu is indeed interested, but not to the extent that it is absolutely necessary. After all, he has a system, and with so many abilities, it is not too difficult to obtain the power of longevity. Yes, as long as I can kill Doflamingo, I don't care about my life. Luo knew very well that he could not kill Doflamingo by himself. Especially now that Doflamingo has Bai Yu and Kaido's sanctuary. Is it really worth it? Rocinante definitely doesn't want you to give your life to avenge him. Bai Yu shook his head, he still liked Luo very much. Although there is a little high cold and Tsunere, but as long as you have more contact with Luffy, this high cold and Tsunere will disappear without a trace. You, how do you know? Luo's eyes widened. I know more than you think. Bai Yu smiled slightly. You're right, I don't care about Doflamingo's life or death, it's just that he has his value. Besides surgery, what value is higher than Doflamingo's? Luo opened his mouth and was speechless. Not to mention strength and identity, Doflamingo's power has great value. In addition to his ageless surgery, he also has a pirate group. 213 perhaps in front of others, his pirate group is also considered strong. But in front of the Straw Hat Pirates, it's really nothing. It seems that you still don't understand, go back and think about it and come to me, don't give up your life at will, your life is someone else's life in exchange for it. After Bai Yu finished speaking, he immediately disappeared in place. Luo stood there, motionless, he thought of the scene when Rocinante died to save him. At the same time, I thought of the old man Wolf, who claimed to be a genius inventor. Call. Luo took a deep breath and left the room. At that time. An island somewhere in the New World. The female celestial dragon's Zalaria Palace wears a slave collar around her neck. Without the arrogance of celestial dragons, all that remains is embarrassment. Kneeling on the ground, trembling all over, not daring to say a word. Because the man beside her is so terrifying. Long looked at a warship on the distant sea with a smile on his face. Because he saw his partner. Bartholomew Kuma. The warship docked, and a group of CP Group BCDG members in white suits walked down with bears tied with seastone chains. Seeing the embarrassed appearance of the bear, Long lowered his head and glanced at the Sha Lulia Palace, and he felt that he was still taking it lightly. Revolutionary leader Long, how dare you treat Zalaria Palace like this? The people in the CP organization were immediately furious when they saw the embarrassed Zalaria Palace. Snapped. Long took out a leather whip and hit Sha Lulia directly. Looking at the people in the CP organization with cold eyes, he immediately unfastened the seastone chain on the bear. Dragon, you shouldn't have come. The bear gritted his teeth. You were like this, how could I not come? Long took a deep breath, everything will be said when we go back. Bastard. World government will never let you go. The people of the CP organization said bitterly. You never thought about letting me go. Don't talk nonsense, let me go immediately. Long has no patience to waste time with these people. The people from the CP organization gritted their teeth and reluctantly opened the seastone chain. The huge body of the bear fell directly to the ground. Can. The dragon exclaimed. I'm fine. Can stand up. Dragon, you should let him go. The CP organization shouted. For you guys. Long swayed through the Shah Lulia palace and flew out. Hurry up and save people. The CP organization panicked immediately. Taking advantage of this time, the dragon whipped up a gust of wind and disappeared with the bear. Dragon, you shouldn't come to save me. My body has basically been transformed. The purpose of them letting me go is to find our base camp and destroy us. My personality will soon be erased. The bear gritted his teeth and shouted. He did not want to implicate the entire revolutionary army because of him alone. I know someone who can save you. In fact, Long knew about the situation for a long time. But he believed that Bai Yu would be able to save the bear. Is there anyone better than Vegapunk? Shang is very puzzled. In his opinion, there is absolutely no scientist better than Vegapunk in this world. Of course, that's the crew of my son's pirate ship. The dragon looked proud. Didn't you say that you won't meet your son until the big event is over? The bear looked at the dragon with a strange expression. He found that his old friend seemed to have changed. Special circumstances, special treatment, now my sons are all 5 emperors of the new world, and even the 5 elders can't take them. Where do you think the celestial dragons I used to save you came from? Long said proudly. Celestial dragons caught by your son Luffy. The bear asked curiously. Well, it's almost. Long murmured, but did not answer directly. It seems that your son, like you, is also a fool who is not afraid of anything. Bear could see that there was a problem. But daring to take on celestial dragons, and that says it all. That's it, don't even look at whose son. Dragon is very proud. Bear, if it weren't for the fact that his abilities had not changed, he would have suspected that this dragon was fake. Ah, Luffy, who was eating meat, sneezed. Luffy, what's wrong with you? Usopp asked suspiciously. Luffy's physique is like a monster, and he's never heard of Luffy getting sick. This sudden sneeze is really weird. I do not know either. After Luffy finished speaking, he continued to eat heartlessly. Count me in. Usopp is thinking about the development of the fruit of silence while eating. Doflamingo, you are the one who captured 500 little people and princesses of the little people, right? Enel said suddenly. Where? I didn't arrest them, they volunteered to work for me. Apart from being polite to Bai Yu, Doflamingo is not even polite to Luffy. Enel is naturally not polite. Let them go, and don't deceive them in the future. Enel's voice was extremely cold, and lightning flashed on his body. Chapter 135, Thinking from a Height. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Bibobo, this doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? Those idiots are willing to believe, can you blame me? Doflamingo had a smile on his face. It didn't have anything to do with it at first, but they think I'm a god, so it has something to do with me. The thunder and lightning on Enel is getting stronger and stronger, and it will be shot at any time. God, that's ridiculous. Before Doflamingo's words were finished, Enel launched an attack directly. A thunderbolt directly smashed the chair into pieces, and a large pit appeared on the ground. Duh, are you trying to kill me? Doflamingo looked at Enel with murderous intent. It was enough for him to be suppressed by Bai Yu alone, this Enel still wanted to suppress him. Logia isn't invincible either. Bakudo number 66 Light Life. The 6 paths light sheet instantly controls Doflamingo. One more time, die. Bai Yu's eyes were extremely cold. Dare to show murderous intent in front of him, I really don't want to live. Little Lord. Torapal roared and attacked Bai Yu directly. Do not want. Doflamingo shouted. God punishment. Enel raised his hand and a lightning bolt shot out. Sizzle. Torapal fell to the ground with his whole body charred. Don't move. Doflamingo yelled loudly, and the cadres of the Don Quixote family stopped in place. He knew that if he did it now, all of them would die. I'm sorry, Lord Bai Yu, Lord Enel, I'm going to release the little people. Doflamingo gritted his teeth and apologized. By the way, close the artificial devil fruit factory and leave it to Guy to study weapons. Bai Yu said. Compared to Doflamingo, Guy is much easier to control. Just give him a target study. Yes. Doflamingo nodded immediately. With a wave of Bai Yu's hand, the 6-armed light prison was released. Doflamingo walked out of the banquet hall immediately. The cadres of the Don Quixote family quickly followed. Bai Yu, what the hell happened? Luffy asked suspiciously. He didn't know the reason at all, he just started fighting when he was eating. Let me tell you, I'll tell you what this country is like. Enel started talking about Dressrosa's history with a serious look. Bai Yu looked at Enel very strangely. He can't see the Enel who once claimed to be a god at all now. He was very aware of how tyrannical the former Enel was. Now she has become like a virgin. This really made him a little unbelievable. King Liku is really a super good king, woohoo. Franky burst into tears after hearing this. I really can't imagine that there is such a good king, but it's a pity that his strength is too weak. Robin sighed. Being weak is the original sin. Just like Ohara once was. Really, a good king who loves his people better than my father did. Vivi is also very admired. I'm going to fly that Doflamingo. Luffy clenched his fists and roared. This kind of, it's better for a guy to chop. Zoro also had a murderous look on his face. He should be allowed to taste my dark dishes. Sanji lights a cigarette. Okay, I know how you feel, it's easy to kill Doflamingo, but what about after you've thought about killing him? Bai Yu said. After killing him, Luffy said halfway through, and didn't know what to say after that. This time, he took out a rare phantom beast as a reward for the competition, attracting a large number of pirates. There must be a conspiracy. Bai Yu shook his head. If you want to save this country, you have to be patient. He was also very helpless to follow this group of guys. However, this is also to blame for Doflamingo's disobedience, so he can only change to another obedient one. Bai Yu, did you know everything from the beginning? Luffy asked suspiciously. Idiot Luffy, didn't Bai Yu already say it when we came? Nami tapped Luffy on the head. Cough, what are we going to do? Luffy asked, hanging his head. Just don't know this, just like before, you guys will play as usual, just go and play as you should, don't worry about anything, everything will take its course. Dot for flowers. Bai Yu said with a smile. What? Everyone looked at Bai Yu in disbelief. Have no idea what this is for. This is called, to respond to changes with the same, you have to learn to think about problems from a high place. Bai Yu said with a smile. Their current strength, even in the face of the four emperors, is not afraid at all. To deal with a small Doflamingo, they still have to make calculations in their hearts, it is really boring. There is only one enemy they face in the end, and that is the world government. Bai Yu's ears moved, and he said with a strange expression, Luffy, your father is here. He really didn't expect the dragon to come. I just finished talking about dragons with Sabo today, and I came right away. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Luffy looked puzzled. I brought someone with me. Enel said. Franky, should be very interested. Bai Yu naturally knew who the dragon brought. The bear's body has been almost completely remodeled. I have to say that Vegapunk is really powerful, it can transform a living person into a machine, and can also use the fruit ability. Such technology is absolutely very important for Franky. Franky looked puzzled. They're already on the boat, let's go over there. Bai Yu said and flew to the pirate ship with the three girls. He is not planning to reveal the ability of the door fruit. Fortunately today I am super good. Franky said with his hands and feet together. The hands and feet spurted out flames and flew directly through the roof. I can't bring anyone. Enel shook his head and disappeared. The remaining few people who can't fly can only choose to walk. Leave it to me, roar roar. Brooke laughed, the cane clicked on the carpet, and the carpet just floated. Magic carpet. It's amazing. Luffy's eyes flashed and he jumped up. Magic carpet. Magic carpet. Fly. Chopper jumped up excitedly. Several other people also jumped up immediately. Also want to experience this magical magic carpet. 10,000. Chapter 136. Dragon knows a hammer revolution. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. How about it? This is my son's pirate ship, isn't it amazing? Long said to Nang with a proud face. Shang glanced at the dragon, did not speak, and did not want to pay attention to this guy at all. Uncle Long, Thousand Sunny doesn't belong to anyone, but everyone. Little lowly Mei Li appeared and said. Her name is Mei Li, and she is also a member of the Straw Hat Pirates. Mei Li, this is Uncle Bear. When Long saw Mei Li, a smile appeared on his face immediately. Uncle Bear, Mary said politely. Dragon, the world government should have come to chase us, my consciousness is about to disappear, we can't continue to stay here. The bear's tone was very anxious, and he could feel that there was some kind of program running in his body. But he couldn't control it himself. 2-3, Dragon, you really brought me a big trouble. Quote. Bai Yu descended into the sky with 3 daughters. The bear's body has almost been transformed, and it is impossible for the world government to leave some means behind. The dragon brought the bear to him, and the people of the world government will definitely come to him soon. Although he is not afraid of those people, he does not want to provoke such unnecessary trouble. Bai Yu, can you save Nang? As soon as Long saw Bai Yu, it was as if he saw his relatives. Human weapons. Enel frowned and looked at the bear warily. Shichibukai. The others were also a little surprised when they came back. What's in it for me? Bai Yu glanced at the bear and turned to look at the dragon. Although he admires Shang very much, if there is no benefit, he will not shoot. As long as you can save the bear, you can do whatever you want. The dragon gritted his teeth and said. This is what you said. I didn't force you. Don't regret it then. Bai Yu looked at the dragon with a smile. Don't worry, I'll definitely keep my word. As long as you can save the bear, I will promise you any conditions. Long said very seriously. Dragon. Don't say it, bear, nothing is more important than you, I will never allow you to have an accident. The dragon said with a serious expression. Franky, he gave it to you, you should be able to solve it, right? Bai Yu ignored the 2 people who were full of love. Give it to Super Me. Today's me is super awesome. Frankie looked at the bear like a hungry man seeing a woman with no clothes on. Bear, you can follow Frankie. He is also a transforming person, and his master's technology is even more advanced than Vegapunk. Bai Yu said. Yes, Bear, go, you'll be all right. Long urged on the side. The bear glanced down at Frankie, nodded and followed into Thousand Sunny's dock system. That's where Frankie works and has the most space. Okay, now it's our turn to talk. Seeing that Frankie could leave, Bai Yu said. Okay, tell me your terms. The dragon is ready to be slaughtered. Why should you accept the transformation of Vegapunk, and what kind of deal did you make with Bagachunk? Bai Yu directly asked the doubts in his heart. He has always been curious why the bear would take the initiative to accept the transformation. And now the dragon will be able to save it at all costs. This is somewhat contradictory. It can be for the new era, betting my own life. The dragon gritted his teeth. New era. A new era of the revolutionary army or a new era of humanity? Bai Yu asked suspiciously. He seems to have heard such words a lot. It is not only a new era for the revolutionary army, but also a new era for mankind, a new era without oppression. There is yearning in Long's eyes, and he yearns for that day to come. I have no interest in these ideals, I just want to know what practical benefits you get. Bai Yu said very directly. Long was silent for a while, then took a deep breath and said, no. Nothing. Then take the initiative to accept the transformation. Bai Yu shook his head. It seems that you really take me for a fool. At least for now, I didn't get anything, I didn't lie to you. Dragon said. You guy, I seriously suspect now that the tattoo on your face was not a tattoo, but was hit by that old man Garp with his slippers. Bai Yu was very depressed, he knew that Long must be hiding something. However, he is not in a hurry, because now it is in his hands. The corner of Long's mouth twitched, and he put his hat on, covering his face. How long will it take for the bear to recover? I don't know, even if he recovers, it's just that his consciousness and memory are out of control, and his body is impossible to recover. Bai Yu shook his head. The bear's body has been completely remodeled, and even if Frankie has mastered the skills to create a steel battle suit, he can't restore his fleshy body. The world government will not give us time. Long's brows were furrowed, he knew very well that the world government would definitely not let him and Nang go. That's your business. Anyway, the two of them cannot be disturbed during this time. Bai Yu spread out his hands. Son, can you help Dad? The dragon looked at Luffy. I'm going to play tomorrow, I'm going to win the championship. Luffy now only thinks about the championship, where will he take care of the dragon? And Luffy didn't have any feelings for dragons at all. PCPO's high-end combat power was almost wiped out during Summit War, and now the most 3.6 players are some second-tier players, can you still deal with it? Bai Yu looked at the dragon intently. You underestimate the world government too much. Their strength is far more terrifying than you think. Summit War happened because of your appearance. Otherwise, do you think Whitebeard will rescue Ace safely? Long shook his head helplessly. If the world government was really that weak, he would have been stubborn long ago, and he wouldn't have to hide it in the dark like he is now. Do you know what it means to despise the enemy strategically and attach importance to the enemy tactically? Bai Yu shook his head helplessly. What's the meaning? Long asked whether he understood or not. I don't understand, you still make a revolution with a hammer. Bai Yu looked disdainful. It's really embarrassing to keep making small noises after so many years. Chapter 137. Sengoku. Second Grandpa. Second Grandma. I know what Bai Yu means. Luffy immediately shouted loudly. What Bai Yu means is that you don't need to care about any enemies, just shoot them away, am I right? Idiot, how could it be so simple, this sentence must have deep meaning. Sanji said aside. The vice captain's meaning should be to say that from the overall point of view, any enemy can be defeated, but in the implementation of tactics, we must be cautious. Robin said aside. Isn't that just a version of pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger? Vivi said aside. No, it should be said that the lion fights the rabbit with all his strength. Nami said. Actually, what you said is good, but only Robin's answer is the closest. Since you are all interested, let's talk while having a banquet. Bai Yu said. Okay, have a party. Luffy jumped up immediately. We just finished eating. Nami's face turned dark, she noticed that he had gained weight during this time. It's okay, long treat. Bai Yu said. No problem, I'll treat you. Everyone eats whatever you want, how much money is mine? Long said quickly that he was looking forward to Bai Yu's words. Sanji, it's over to you, remember to list the bill to Mr. Long. Bai Yu said with a smile. Anyway, idle is idle, eat and drink, blow cows for a while, and then sleep. Wait a minute, someone is approaching. Enel said. Looks like it was discovered. Sengoku's voice sounded. Hearing Sengoku's voice, the people who put it on became nervous. After all, they had a war between these two old men before. Don't be nervous, it's all right, come up and sit down, it just so happens that your family will be reunited. Bai Yu said. Aren't you afraid that the two of us are here to arrest you? Sengoku spoke up. If I'm afraid of two retired old men, this voyage will be over. Bai Yu said with a smile. I see. This is what Bai Yu said about despising the enemy. Luffy shouted loudly. Stinky boy, haven't you tasted my iron fist of love? Garp jumped on the pirate ship and looked at Luffy with his fist clenched. Don't bully Luffy. The dragon stood in front of Luffy. Boom. Garp punched the dragon aside. The old man will bully you. Let you taste the iron fist of love. Bang bang bang. If you break something, you will lose money. Bai Yu said. Let this bastard pay. Garp sat down very comfortably. The dragon is full of big bags, very miserable. Ha ha ha. Bang. Bang. Grandpa. Dad, why did you hit me? Luffy was very dissatisfied with the two large bags hanging on his head. Luffy is calling someone, your second grandpa is here. Bai Yu said with a smile. Second grandpa. Luffy looked at Sengoku suspiciously. Don't yell. Sengoku's mouth twitched. It's wrong, let's call your second grandmother. Bai Yu said again. Second grandma. Luffy gave a very obedient cry. Click, click. The veins on Sengoku's forehead bulged one by one. Ha ha ha. Garp rolled on the ground laughing, tears coming out of his eyes. The others wanted to laugh too, but looked at Sengoku's face that was darker than the bottom of the pot and held back. Dad, should you give me an explanation? The dragon looked at Garp. Ah, Bai Yu directly spit out a mouthful of water. Long's words are really shocking. The monkey family really doesn't have a normal. Mr. Sengoku, did you also bring a sheep? I'm very good at roasting whole sheep. Sanji's eyes lit up when he saw Sengoku's goat, and he could tell that it was definitely a very good ingredient. The goat was frightened by Sanji's eyes, and quickly hid behind Sengoku and barked twice. It says get out of the stinky chef. Chopper immediately acted as a translator. Who is the stinky cook? Sanji was instantly furious. I didn't say it, the goat said it. Chopper hides behind Bai Yu in fright. I roasted you. Sanji looked at the goat angrily. The goat barked again. It says you can't beat Sengoku. Chopper said cautiously. Old man Sengoku, come and fight, if you lose, the sheep will be mine. Sanji was so angry that he had to roast the goat. Forget it, I'll eat it next time. Bai Yu said. In fact, he also wanted to eat Sengoku's goats. The goat shuddered suddenly and dared not speak again. Can you understand animals? Sengoku ignored these people and looked at Chopper curiously. I am the reindeer that ate the fruit of everyone. Chopper said. I see, I thought you were a civet cat. Sengoku nodded, a look of understanding. I'm not a civet cat. You are a civet cat. Your whole family is a civet cat. Chopper immediately shouted loudly, and hid behind Bai Yu after shouting. Sengoku's face darkened. By the way, the monster that slapped you in the air is Chopper. Bai Yu said with a smile. What? Sengoku's eyes widened, surprised. He himself is a person with the ability of the fruit of everyone, and there are only 3 changes at most. This is fixed, how could someone have more than 4 changes? That's the secret. Bai Yu smiled secretly, he just deliberately revealed a little bit of information to Sengoku. Didn't you say there was a banquet? Garp said aside. Of course, tonight's consumption will be paid by our son Long. Bai Yu said with a smile. Come here to help, Sanji shouted. The others immediately went over to help and began to prepare the banquet. Are you missing someone on board? Sengoku asked. He's working, leave him alone. Bai Yu said something and raised his glass, let's drink first. Cheers. The people of Straw Hat Crew immediately raised their glasses with excitement, and the 3 of them, Long and Sengoku Garp, could only follow along. Well, Bai Yu, you'd better talk about the revolution. Long was very anxious, and he wanted to know what Bai Yu thought about the revolution. You boy, are you still awake? Garp was instantly furious. It's Dad, you haven't woken up yet. The dragon shook his head. Marine upholds justice, it's not wrong, but now the justice upheld by Marine is the justice of those idiot celestial dragons. Dragon, your thoughts are too dangerous. Sengoku said. Well, we have no position here tonight, just small talk. Bai Yu interrupted the 3. Then he said. I will tell you what a revolution is. Chapter 138. Sengoku, Garp, no guarantee for the evening. Inappropriate moments in sports. Learn more. Bai Yu is a young man from the 21st century. He has also read the thoughts of the great man, although his memory is not very comprehensive. But it's still easy to deal with these rookies who don't know everything. After all, that was the mind of a great man. Everyone was fascinated and listened very seriously. Only Luffy fell asleep on the table alone. Long Ting's eyes lit up, and he felt that he had found a new direction. I also understand the main reason for my slow progress over the years. Sengoku and Garp, on the other hand, are a bit more complicated. If it can really do what Bai Yu said, the world government will be overthrown 100%. But looking at it from another angle, the establishment of such a peaceful society without exploitation and war is a great deed for the whole world. However, from Marine's standpoint, this is total rebellion. No matter how well you say it, it is a rebellion. Although they also know how rotten this world is. The members of Straw Hat Crew looked at Bai Yu's eyes also changed. Mainly because such remarks are too scary. Now they all have an urge to directly overthrow the world government. Revolution is not a dinner party, a casual writing, or raising birds and flowers. A revolution is a riot. It's a war for one class to overthrow another. Try to do it. I believe you can do it. After Bai Yu finished speaking, he took a sip of wine. Coming to this world for so long, this is the longest thing he has ever said. Bai Yu, you come to lead the revolutionary army. All the revolutionary army, including me, are completely at your command. Let's overthrow this corrupt world government and build a truly democratic world. The dragon is very excited. He feels that as long as Bai Yu is willing to lead their revolutionary army, it will not take long for them to overthrow the corrupt rule of celestial dragons. When Sengoku and Garp heard Dragon's words, their expressions changed, and cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. If Bai Yu really agrees, then the world government is really not far from extinction. I have no interest in these things, and you are more suitable for such things. Bai Yu shook his head. The leader is not so easy to be. He is now surrounded by no shortage of beautiful women, no lack of brothers, a lot of money and treasures, free and unfettered, and he can go wherever he wants. When I am in a good mood, I will have a banquet to eat food and wine with my brothers, and be accompanied by beautiful women in the evening. If you are in a bad mood, find a few people to fight. There is nothing to improve the strength, and train other people by the way, life is simply too comfortable. Only fools go to lead a revolutionary army. Now his life has not changed for a king. Call. Hearing Bai Yu's answer, both Sengoku and Garp breathed a sigh of relief. Long was disappointed. Okay, the gossip is over, everyone cheers. Bai Yu raised his glass and shouted, breaking the awkward atmosphere. Cheers. The talents of Straw Hat Crew don't matter so much, as long as Bai Yu is their co-captain. What does the world have to do with them? Dragon, Garp, and Sengoku don't have as big a heart as the others. The wine tasted completely bitter and hard to swallow. Are you two going to arrest me? The dragon looked at both Garp and Sengoku. If the two of us are still in office, we will definitely arrest you, but now that we have retired, the first battle before retirement was also used on them, so forget it now. Sengoku shook his head. In fact, he really had an urge in his heart to capture Long and Bai Yu. But there was another voice that kept saying in his mind that both of them were right. Even he himself just had an urge to join the revolutionary army. Garp glanced at his son and then at Luffy, who was sleeping, with a complicated look in his eyes. Then looking at Bai Yushang, he sighed helplessly. Sure enough, he and Sengoku were quite right in choosing to retire. The current situation is beyond the control of the two old guys. Enel's ears moved and turned to glance at Bai Yu. Continue to drink. As I said, I have no position today, come and drink. Bai Yu pulled the two old guys Sengoku and Garp and started drinking. Naturally he knew what Enel meant. Because the eagle dog of the world government is here. And he just let these two old guys get on the boat, that's the purpose. The Falcon saw the former Marshal Marine and Hero Marine drinking with their group of pirates and the leader of the revolutionary army. I don't know what kind of expression it will look like. Sengoku, discuss it. I'll find you a new pet, you sell me the goat, and the roasted whole lamb made by Sanji is super delicious. Quote. Bai Yu pulled Sengoku and said. Don't even think about it. Sengoku how refused without hesitation, these bastards still miss his sheep. Sengoku, I actually want to eat roast whole lamb too. Garp said aside. Roll. Sengoku kicked out straight away. The goat hid in the corner and shivered. A group of people eat and drink, the atmosphere is very lively. So, happy, I'm offering you a song from Binks. Brooke took out a guitar and began to play. A melodious melody sounded, bringing Binks' wine to your side. Like the sea breeze, ride the wind and waves at will. We go to war, only for the ocean. Hear Brooke sing. Luffy woke up too, and sang along loudly, very well. Others can't help but sing along. Even Bai Yu sang along. Although Sengoku and Garp did not sing, they sat there and listened quietly, watching the hilarious Straw Hat Crew. There was also a fatherly smile on Long's face. Suddenly, the smile on the dragon's face disappeared. The clear night sky was instantly covered with dark clouds, and the wind suddenly rose. The singing stopped abruptly. It seems that you are in a good mood, and you sing. The CPU masked man stopped halfway through his words, his eyes widened. Sengoku. Garp, how can you guys be so handsome here? Sengoku and Garp were also stunned. They had absolutely no idea that the CPU would be here. And also see them drinking with pirates, among them there is one of the most vicious criminals in the world. Chapter 139. The Three-Headed Dog of the Phantom Beast. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. If only Marine saw the two of them, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, CP0 is an institution directly under the world government. Seen by them, the five elders will definitely know. Although they are now retired, their identities are still there after all. Sengoku immediately understood why Bai Yu was pulling them to drink just now. It turned out that from the moment they got on the ship, they had already been calculated. Although the five elders wouldn't do anything to him directly, it would be impossible to go out to fish casually in the future. It turns out that the CPO hasn't died yet. How many of you are left? Bai Yu said. Copy. People Bai Yu. Don't be too arrogant, this matter has nothing to do with you, you'd better not interfere. The masked man said coldly. Okay. Bai Yu simply stood aside. This stunned the masked man of the CPO. Why is Bai Yu so good at talking? Then, what? Lightning strikes the sky in an instant. Boom. The ground was blasted directly into a deep pit. Just because you want to attack me. The dragon flew into the air, and the wind was blowing. Don't mess with the wind, all the food is blown away. 213 It is a sin to waste food. Bai Yu shouted. There was no wind at all around the pirate ship. Sanji, get some popcorn. Bai Yu hurriedly got ready to watch the play. I also want. Several other people also moved their stools immediately. Activate play mode. These people are very curious about the strength of the dragon. Sengoku. Garp. Get your hands on it now. The masked man climbed out of the deep pit, and his clothes were a little dirty, but he didn't have any injuries. I advise you not to let these two old guys do it. Bai Yu said aside. He found that the CPO's brain was a little bad. Now they're arresting Garp's own son. And he also saw pictures of Sengoku and Garp drinking with them. If the two of them made a move, they would probably kill him first. Asshole. The masked man was very angry. I'm here to contain the dragon, you guys get on the boat to search for PX0, and the blockers will be killed without mercy. The voice fell, and hundreds of people rushed over. These individuals are all members of CP1 CP9, with only a few CPOs. Long, borrow your thunder cloud. Enel said regardless of whether the dragon agreed or not, his arm turned into a thunderous sky and went straight to the sky. I haven't used this trick for a long time, and I almost forgot. A cruel smile appeared on Enel's face. Wan Lei. Boom, boom, boom. Dense thunder and lightning fell from the sky. Those CP members who rushed up were killed by thunder one by one. Although the area of Wanlei is not large this time, the power is also more powerful. How can ordinary CP members be able to catch such a powerful thunder? And this thunder is not an ordinary thunder. It is created by the ability of the dragon, combined with the ability of Enel, the power is even stronger. And Doflamingo in the distant palace also saw this scene. It's getting more and more interesting. The Revolutionary Army and the world government are all involved. It's really interesting. Doflamingo sat on the windowsill, watching the fight. Click. A thunderbolt fell directly beside him. Doflamingo broke out in a cold sweat and looked at the pirate ship in the distance with a solemn expression. At this moment, he felt that he really underestimated Enel, the Logia's ability. At this time, there were only a few masked CPOs left near the pirate ship. Everyone else was lying on the ground with their bodies charred. Damn Logia. Jealous. When the dragon's voice fell, he also used the lightning enhanced by Enel to cast lightning to attack the masked man. Yesterday, the lightning struck directly on the masked man. But the masked man took the lightning. No more than Logia. Although the mask of the masked man shattered, the injuries on his body recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye BCDG. At the same time, the breath on the body is also getting stronger and stronger. You are also capable. Long was a little surprised, the recovery speed is so fast, it is definitely not something ordinary people can do. Just at this time, on the shoulders of the masked man, two identical heads grew again. Let me do it. This food is mine. Shut up. I'm the boss. The three heads make three different sounds. I am a capable person in the form of a three-headed dog of the phantom beast, which is rarer than Logia. The voice fell, and the three-headed monster disappeared into the darkness. In the night, I am invincible! Exclamation mark. The dragon was hit and flew out. So fast. Long's eyes narrowed slightly, and his observation haki didn't keep up. I am not speed. Boom. Another punch. The dragon still did not escape. It turned out to be this monster. Sengoku frowned. You recognize? Garp asked curiously. Corber, dog fruit, phantom beast, hell three-headed dog form ability, the elite of the CPO elite. The strength is comparable to Admiral, even the ordinary Admiral level combat power is not his opponent, he seems to be still with the new Admiral Green Bull has something to do with it. After all, Sengoku has been a marshal for many years, and he still knows a little bit about some people in the world government. It's him. Didn't he die before this year? Garp also remembered this character. It was just because he killed a country's army, the crime was too great, and it was seen by many people, so he had to be allowed to fake his death. In fact, he had been in the Holy Land Mariajoy. Sengoku shook his head, if it was before, he certainly wouldn't say it. Now that he is retired, he is not afraid of these. As expected of the former Marshal Marine, he knows everything about me, but I didn't just slaughter the army, and there was not a single living person left in that country. There is no way, I have 3 heads to eat, and the food is relatively large. I have eaten the least recently, this person will let me eat it. Colber's 3 heads began to speak. Hey, such people can join the world government, it's really just. Bai Yu smiled. That's right, it is said that the 3-headed dog is actually a watchdog. You wanna die. The head in the middle of Colber roared angrily, and spit out a mouthful of green energy from his palm. Bakudo number 81 splitting void. Bai Yu broke the chanting and released the number 81 Bakudo directly. A huge shield appeared out of nowhere. Blocked the impact of seeing the green energy. But the shield formed by the splitting void is also corroded a little bit. Even with 3 heads, distraction is dead. Hurricane cut. The hurricane wrapped Colber in an instant. Puff. The sound of cutting flesh kept ringing. It makes the scalp tingling. Roar, roar, roar. With 3 roars, the hurricane dissipated. A huge 3-headed dog nearly 10 meters high and nearly 30 meters long appeared. Green venom was still dripping from the 3 bloody mouths. Chapter 140. Dragon, my mind is broken. Inappropriate moments in sports. Naruto. The 3 dogs raised their heads to the sky and howled. The sound waves emitted by the huge body are also deafening. Usopp hastily activated his ability. Soundproof wall. A transparent light mask shrouds the Straw Hat crew. Everyone immediately felt that the world was quiet. Yes, you can cast the soundproof wall so quickly, you and this fruit really fit well. Bai Yu smiled slightly. It's also that these 3-headed dogs bark too loudly, so I just used them. Usopp was a little embarrassed to be praised for the first time. Release, the screaming should stop. Bai Yu said. The soundproof walls disappeared. The sound returns to normal. The 3-headed dog of hell raised up high and pounced on the dragon in the air. As soon as the dragon waved his hand, a heavy rain immediately appeared in the sky, and the raindrops gathered together, forming an ice sword, and hurriedly shot at the hellhound who rushed over. Cerberus quickly dodges, and the huge limbs step in the air to dodge quickly, very flexible. Dragon's Claw. The dragon instantly appeared on top of the 3-headed dog, with haki wrapped around his hands. Boom. The 3-headed dog fell to the ground instantly. The powerful impact smashed the ground into a huge pit. Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki 2 Haki twists. Bai Yu immediately saw that the dragon was using 2 Haki twists. Damn you. The head in the middle of the 3-headed dog stopped moving, and the other 2 were extremely angry. A violent breath erupted, instantly disappeared in place. Long was stunned, because the 3-headed dog did not attack him, but appeared beside other CPOs. Open your mouth wide and eat it in one bite. Lord Colbur. No. Run. Lord Colbur is crazy. What? The surviving CP0s are eaten one by one. Even the dead bodies, the 3-headed dogs were not spared, and they were all eaten clean. At this moment, the breathless dog head in the middle moved again. The breath on his body was even more violent. Long, can you do it? After playing white hits for a long time, don't you understand how to make up? Bai Yu said aside. That's right, Dad is too weak to hit a 3-headed dog. I only punched a 3-headed dog last time. Moria, the zombie 3-headed dog. Luffy also looked at the dragon in disappointment. Bai Yu's mouth twitched. Could the dog you met at the time be the same as this dog? This is the real phantom beast, the 3-headed dog of hell. Bai Yu's mocking dragon can be ignored, but his son's minister cannot be ignored. Crucially, Luffy also said he only took 1 punch. You must show your strength in front of your son. You're all going to die. Colbur turned into an orc form as he spoke. The 3 heads face 3 directions, and the height is at least 5 meters. Those exaggerated muscles showed terrifying strength. His legs were slightly bent and disappeared in place in an instant. Appears behind the dragon. Is this your strongest form? The dragon did not evade or turn back, his tone was extremely indifferent. Enough to kill you. Colbur roared, his fist wrapped around armament Haki, and punched out. The fist hit the dragon's head. Just at this time, the figure of the dragon shattered like instant noodles. Storm Dragon King Fist. The dragon suddenly appeared behind Colbur. All 3 were shocked. Boom. Colbur fell to the ground like a cannonball. The impact force instantly knocked the ground into a bottomless pit. The dragon landed on the pirate ship, gasping for breath. In order to fight for a breath in front of his son, he also worked hard. How? Dad also punched. The dragon looked at Luffy smugly. After I punched, the 3-headed dog became my mount. Luffy made another shot. I'm afraid this is enough to eat. He was probably already dead when he punched it just now. Long's words were not finished yet. Colbur climbed out of the pit. It's really strong, but can you still make an attack like that? I'm afraid Haki won't recover so quickly, right? Colbur's injuries are recovering quickly. Zone's fruit power awakens. The dragon frowned, he had indeed used all the Haki just now. But it never occurred to me that the dog had not been killed. Yes, my resilience is stronger and faster than ordinary animals. This is the power of you demons. By the time Colbur spoke, his physical injuries had almost recovered. For flowers. He stood up and looked at the people on the pirate ship, with a playful smile on his face. Eating you guys should make me stronger. It seems, this guy wants to eat even the 2 of us. Sengoku said helplessly. How about we eat your sheep before we get eaten? When Garp looked at the goat, the corners of his mouth drooled. I agree, Sanji worked. Bai Yu nodded immediately. Sanji immediately walked towards the goat. You bastards. How dare you ignore me? Give me death. Colbur roared and turned into a 3-headed dog of hell again, opening his mouth and preparing to swallow everyone in one bite. Devil's Foot. Boom. A kick in the chin of a dog's head. Useless cook. Zoro pulled out a knife and charged up. Yi Dao Lu Death Lion Song Song. Puff. The other head was cut off directly. 3 blocks, like a gun. Luffy's fist instantly grew larger, and armament Haki entangled. Boom. The 3-headed dog of hell flew out directly. God's punishment. Boom. A huge thunder fell from the sky. The three-headed dog of hell fell into the deep pit, black smoke all over his body. Slowly changed back to the body. Sigh. Colbur spat out a mouthful of blood. Dragon. I'm devastated. Sengoku and Garp were also shocked when they saw the strength of the three Straw Hat Pirates. Colbur's wound is still slowly healing, but the speed of healing is much slower than just now. Even if the Eudemons are awakened, they will be exhausted, right? Can I recover after cutting off the head? Bai Yu appeared beside Colbur, pulled out Jin Luo from his waist and slashed. Puff. The razor-sharp knife was so sharp that it cut off the neck with ease. A round head rolled down. Blood spurted out. Bai Yu struck the body with a bolt of lightning. The high temperature brought by the thunder and lightning instantly ignited. Make up the knife to make up for it completely. After all, he is also the first time to deal with Zone's awakening ability, and he is also a Eudemon's type. What if you cut your head off without dying? By the way, kick the head into the fire. 10,000. Chapter 141. What bad thoughts can Bai Yu have? Dad, you see, I said only one punch. Luffy said. Long glanced at Luffy, then at Zoro and Sanji, and finally at Bai Yu. I thought that you made a move, but it was also your labor and capital that I crippled him first. And when you punch, others do too. Okay, we should go too. Sengoku shook his head. What the two of them did today was very inappropriate. If it is seen by other people, it will be really troublesome. Don't be in a hurry. Bai Yu appeared on the boat and stopped the two old men. Getting on board is easy, getting off is not easy. Although these two old guys are old, their strength is definitely not bad. He can make good use of it. Boy Bai Yu, what else are you doing? Garp frowned, feeling a bad feeling in his heart. Mr. Garp, you see what you said, it's rare for you to have a 2-3 family reunion. I took a photo for you just now and gave it to you. Bai Yu smiled slightly. Robin took a photo and handed it to Garp. In the photo, the faces of the three of them are pressed together, holding cups, with smiles all over their faces. Seeing the photo, Garp was silent for a moment and put the photo in his pocket. Sengoku, sir, this is our big group photo, and I'll give you one too. Without Bai Yu saying anything, Robin took out another photo and handed it to Sengoku. Bastard, what the hell are you doing? How could Sengoku not understand? This is the threat of Kai Guago. If these two photos were in the hands of the world government, he and Garp would have 100 mouths to say. What can I do? I invite you to the banquet and send you a photo, what can I have bad thoughts? Bai Yu said with a smile. Yeah, what kind of bad thoughts can Bai Yu have? Garp nodded approvingly. You fool, what would happen if these two photos were in the hands of the world government? Sengoku roared loudly. Bai Yu, shouldn't do it, it's not good for it. Garp said suspiciously. It's still Mr. Garp who understands me. Bai Yu is very satisfied. This is very monkey. Garp is a fool. Tell me, what do you want us to do for you? As long as it doesn't violate the principle, I can help you. Sengoku said it very directly. Sengoku, if you say I'm a fool, I'll turn my back on you. Garp was angry. He just didn't want to think about it that much, he wasn't really stupid. Of course, Bai Yu didn't take Garp for a real fool either. If he really thinks like that, then he is really stupid. Mr. Garp is very wise and stupid. I understand. Sengoku has been a marshal for a long time, and he always thinks people too badly. I don't blame him. Bai Yu sighed helplessly. It's okay, I will educate him well in the future. Garp said very seriously. Karaoke. The veins on Sengoku's forehead bulged, his fists clenched. Okay, such a big move here, I am afraid that it has attracted the attention of many people. You should go back. If I am seen, I have to silence it, which is very troublesome. Bai Yu said as if pointing. Then let's go. Garp pulled Sengoku and left. Although Sengoku was reluctant, he left. The goat followed quickly, for fear that they would bake it in a moment. What a pity, that sheep must be delicious. Luffy watched the goat run away, feeling a little down. Don't worry, the goat is ready for me to bake. Bai Yu smiled, and now the handles of Sengoku and Garp are in his hands. Isn't it easy to roast whole lamb? At the critical moment, these two old guys are also a powerful fighting force. Super. Franky's voice came out suddenly. Boom. Two huge guys landed on the deck. The dragon called out tentatively. Franky's technology is very high, not only solved the hidden dangers for me, but also upgraded me on the original basis. The bear said expressionlessly. It's fine, but what's wrong with your hair? Long looked weird at the bear's exploding head. Franky said I fit this hairstyle. The bear pointed at Franky. Super explosive head is the romance of men. Super transformation. Franky nodded his nose as he spoke, and his hair instantly turned into a bang. Impressive. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper's eyes lit up immediately. Can you upgrade? Bai Yu asked suspiciously. Of course. The super me is a super genius. It's hard for me to be a human. Big bear. Let them see how powerful we are in transforming people. Franky shouted excitedly, also posing. Become a robot. The terrifying remodeler is about to appear. Impressive. The trio of fools is very excited to cooperate. Then. The bear buttoned his nose, and then there was no more. The air quieted down, certainly not because of Usopp's ability to use it. Stupid bear. Activate combat mode. Frankie yelled. It was so embarrassing. Cough. Bear nodded. Subsequently, the bear's body began to appear armor. It didn't take long for the armor to completely cover the bear's body. Just like a robot. Really a robot. Luffy was so excited he almost fainted. Chopper has turned upside down. Usopp quickly came to the bear's side to take a quick look, his face full of excitement. Mecha is a man's romance. A bear in combat mode not only shoots energy lasers, but also uses his own abilities, with strong defense and full attack. Frankie was very excited to introduce, and the battlesuit is hidden in his body, which is very convenient to wear. After exiting the battle mode, the battlesuit will re-enter his body. The voice fell, and the bear also quit the fighting state. My biggest concern is, will the bear's consciousness and memory go away? Long doesn't care how much fighting power he can have. What he cares most about is the bear. Don't worry, his current situation is another kind of immortality. He won't die even if you die. Frankie sighed. However, his current body doesn't have any consciousness, only consciousness and memory are him, and all I can do is these 3.6, unless I can change a body for him in the future. Change body. Dragon's eyes widened. Well, but I can't do it right now. Frankie shook his head. He himself knew very well that the battle uniforms he was building were actually all elementary. He can't master those advanced technologies yet. But he believed that as long as he mastered the advanced technology behind him, he would definitely be able to change his body if he wanted to. It's okay. We can wait. Thank you so much. Long is very excited, as long as there is hope. Now that the bear is all right, we should also talk about the cost of treating the bear this time, and the cost of the 4 of us helping you. Bai Yu's voice sounded. The smile on Long's face disappeared immediately. He remembered that in order to save the bear, he seemed to have promised Bai Yu that he would make any condition. Chapter 142. Go grab the gold in the sky. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Nami, help Mr. Long do the math. Bai Yu said with a smile. Okay. Nami immediately took out a small abacus. The bounty of the 4 of them adds up to 7.3 billion Bailey. With their worth, one shot, 1 billion Bailey is not too much at all, right? And the food and drink tonight, the price is a little cheaper, with a discount, even if you have 500 million Baileys. I don't know the specific price for the treatment of the bear. It is up to the deputy captain to set the price. I only count the material money. An ordinary pacifist of Marines is 100 million Bailey. The battle suits made by our Frankie can be easily destroyed, pacifists, and more practical. I believe Mr. Long also knows that such technology is invaluable. But Mr. Long is our captain's father after all. We don't charge you too much. We just charge you a manual fee, 1 billion Baileys. In all, 2.5 billion Baileys combined. A smile appeared on Nami's face. Would you like to pay with cash, or trade with treasure? Long's face turned black, and a meal for just a few of them cost 500 million Baileys. Although 12 is really delicious, at least he has eaten such delicious food for the first time in so many years. He would endure it even if he ate 500 million, but these 4 guys made a single shot, and they asked him a billion Bailey. This is simply a money grab. He's never been this expensive. That is, the battle suit on the bear is still worth a billion Baileys. After all, he knew the power of that battle suit. But, 2.5 billion Baileys. How can he get so much money? On top of that, it's just a normal fee, and Bai Yu's conditions haven't been mentioned yet. Well, can I install it in installments? Long also knew that if he wanted to default on his debts, he would definitely not be able to. Moreover, the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates is his own son after all, and the money is not given to outsiders. Of course, how many installments do you want? Bai Yu said with a smile. How about 10 years? Long said cheekily. The smile on Bai Yu's face disappeared instantly. Are you trying to default on your debt? How is this possible? Long shook his head quickly. You also know that our revolutionary army is very poor, let alone 2.5 billion Baileys. It is very difficult to take out 200 million Baileys. What about your brain? You don't have money. Doesn't the world government have money? With a leader like you, it's no wonder that the forces of the revolutionary army cannot develop. Every year, you don't want the heavenly gold from the participating countries around the world. You're the worst criminal in the world. The more Bai Yu said, the more angry he became. With the same faction, the world government can easily take out 20 devil fruits. The revolutionary army made a lot of effort to use both of them. Money. Celestial dragons can buy hundreds of millions of Baileys for just one slave. Long, this leader, can't even come up with 2.5 billion Baileys. The most annoying thing is that it has to be installment for 10 years. Do you think this is buying a house? 10 years in installments. Long was speechless by Bai Yu's words. It's not that he didn't think about robbing the heavenly gold, but he gave up after considering the influence of fame. I'll give you 2 months to raise 2.5 billion Bailey and send it to me. If you can't make it, don't blame me. Bai Yu said viciously. He also discovered that this guy, Long, can't do it without pressing a little bit. Okay, I'll try my best. Long sighed helplessly. This year's Tianshang gold should have already begun to be delivered. You can grab any one. Bai Yu made a point. In fact, he is also very eager to grab a wave. After all, a piece of heavenly gold is worth at least billions of Baileys. Although money is not important to him, he is not too much. Bai Yu. Let's go grab it too. Nami's eyes became Baileys. One copy is worth more than 2 billion Baileys, so she will never let go of such an opportunity to make a fortune. When I get the information, Marine's route to escort heavenly gold is very hidden. Bai Yu nodded, he had no intention of letting go of the heavenly gold. Then let's go first. Long didn't want to stay here any longer. Don't worry, I haven't said my conditions yet. How could Bai Yu not know that the dragon wanted to run? That, you say, Long said embarrassedly. Actually, my conditions are also very simple. I want your revolutionary army to take action for me unconditionally, but you can rest assured that you will not be allowed to slaughter ordinary people. After all, I am not a devil. Bai Yu said with a smile. No problem. Feel free to contact me anytime you need. Long quickly agreed, this condition is really much simpler than dozens of devil fruits. That's it, you can go. Bai Yu waved his hand, and after the conditions were negotiated, he said everything he needed to say. As for how far the revolutionary army will go in the future, it depends on Long himself. Long nodded and glanced at Luffy. Son, work hard, Dad is waiting for the day you become the Pirate King. After speaking, the dragon left with the bear. I will definitely become the Pirate King. Luffy clenched his fists and shouted loudly. One Piece, it's getting late, rest early, there is a game tomorrow. Bai Yu said with a smile. The others also packed up and went to rest. Enel came to Bai Yu's side and said, those 3 guys have been in the distance, and that Doflamingo. It's okay, they can't make waves. Bai Yu shook his head, the strength of the 3 disasters is still good. But there is still a big gap compared to Kaido. Then went back to rest. The next day, the arena is already crowded with 213 people. All the participating members of Group B are also ready to fight. It's just that the number of people in this battle is significantly less. Quinn, who is tall and fat, also came to the ring with a mask. Deal with the trash first, and then chop you. Zoro said coldly. I wanted to kick your green algae head away for a long time. Sanji showed no weakness. It seems that the players are full of fighting spirit today, and I hope to see a more exciting battle than yesterday. Not much to say, the game begins. As Diamante's voice fell, all the contestants started moving right away. However, instead of attacking each other, they attacked Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei. And Quinn sat directly on the ring, with absolutely no intention of shooting. If that's the case, let's see who beats them first. Sanji said, okay, Jinbei, please help me remember. Zoro said, took out 3 knives and rushed out. Jinbei looked at the 2 who rushed out, speechless for a while, and could only sit on the ground helplessly, waiting for the battle to end. As for helping these 2 count, only fools do it. This also creates a strange picture. On the round arena, everyone else was fighting. However, 2 people sat on the edge of the ring to watch the fight. The eyes of Jinbei and Quinn finally meet. Chapter 143, Epidemic Quinn's Terror Virus. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. It's terrifying. This is the strength of the Straw Hat Pirates. Pirate Hunter, Roronoa Zoro, with a bounty of 1 billion Baileys. Blackfoot Sanji, offer a reward of 800 million Bailey. The blue fat man sitting there is Hexia Jinbei. The reward is 640 million Bailey. Also, who is a fat man with a mask? I don't know, it seems that he is also hiding his identity. This fight is really exciting. The audience watched the battle on the broadcast station and were very excited. Such a big pirate, they usually only see it on the reward order. It is very rare to see them fighting now. The fight in the ring is completely one-sided. No one is a match for both Zoro and Sanji. One by one, they were knocked down by 2 people. This kind of battle is too boring, I will make it more difficult for you. Quinn said and fired an ammo. Boom. Ammunition exploded. Thick smoke instantly filled the entire arena. Be careful, the smoke is poisonous. Jinbei hurriedly shouted. Zoro and Sanji also immediately retreated to the edge of the broadcasting station. Water-style water barrier. Jinbei folded his hands together, and the water flow swirled around the 3 of them. Block the smoke outside. Be careful, he is the Plague Quinn, one of Kaido's 3 plagues. Jinbei recognized Quinn. Such a fat body, coupled with this method of poisoning. The first thing that came to his mind was Quinn. Roar. A group of people like demons rushed out of the smoke. Go straight to the 3. Found out. Is it? But it's too late, this is a frozen infectious virus developed by this uncle himself, Ice Ghost. Quinn smiled smugly, you're finished. The left side of the door. 3 swords profound truth. Black tornado. Zoro directly released a slash like a whirlwind, sweeping all the poison gas into the sky. Devil's foot. Sanji rushed out in an instant and put his foot on Quinn's mouth. The cigar hanging from Quinn's mouth was kicked into the mouth by Sanji. Boom. Quinn took 3 or 4 steps back in a row, not stopping until the edge of the ring. Puff. What a strong kick. Black-footed Sanji. No, I should call you Vinsmokes Sanji. Quinn spat out the cigar in his mouth, and the wound on his face healed and disappeared. How do you know this? Sanji's face changed, the last thing he wanted to mention was his home. I know a lot. Your father is now preparing to find you a marriage, and it is estimated that the negotiation is almost done now. When Quinn spoke, he put his hand behind him and took out a handful of virus ammunition again. However, you may have no chance to go. Quinn's voice fell, and he threw all the virus ammunition in his hand. ... A series of explosions occurred. Sanji. Zoro roared, and immediately slashed away the poisonous mist with a slash. Ah, my body has turned into a monster. It hurts. It hurts. What? A group of horned, monster-like guys rushed directly to Zoro. Sanji's body is also frosted quickly, but with haki he can resist for a while, and he won't turn into a monster immediately like others. It's useless. After your haki is exhausted, you will also become a monster. Quinn looked at Sanji with a smug face. If you agree to join the Beast's pirates, I will give you the antidote immediately, and your two partners will be safe. Ah, this bit of poison wants my life. Sanji smiled disdainfully, because he himself has strong poison resistance because of divine cooking skills. Coupled with Chopper's medical skills, he is really not afraid of this virus at all. Jinbei, green algae head, don't be touched by those monsters, or it will be contagious. Sanji shouted loudly. It's really loyal to still care about your partner now, but I see how long you can hold on. Quinn said and charged directly at Sanji. It's enough time to kill you. Sanji's feet burned with flames. Devil's foot. Boom. The fists and feet added together, and a powerful shock wave instantly shook the poison gas on the arena away. Viewers also saw those monsters on the radio. Sanji-kun, step back and rest. Take the time to heal. Quinn's virus can't be underestimated. It's up to us here. Jinbei knew how powerful Plague Quinn was. If you are not careful, you can really die. It's okay to kill this bastard. Sanji didn't want to go on like this. This bastard dares to use poison, so he doesn't have to keep it. You still want to kill me? Quinn smiled disdainfully. He was not afraid of Sanji, let alone Sanji who was poisoned now. Devil Wind Feet minced meat kick. Boom. Quinn flew straight out. How can such a powerful force erupt? Quinn was also a little surprised, and her body changed rapidly. Brachiosaurus form. Call. Sanji also began to pant heavily. Water-style water-severing wave. Jinbei immediately attacks Quinn, who has grown in size. The razor-sharp water jet cut through the skin on Quinn's neck, but couldn't cut deeper. After all, Jinbei's time to get water is very short. It is very rare to be at this level now. Sanji also rushed up immediately. Boom. Quinn in Brachiosaurus form disappeared in place. Quickly fell from the sky. Boom. A huge pit appeared in the ring. Sanji narrowly avoided the attack. But the water ghost virus had entered his body, causing his body to freeze. Now he can't even use half of his strength. Zoro, take Sanji away. He handed it to me. Jinbei saw that Sanji couldn't hold on anymore. Quinn can become one of the 3 plagues, and his poison is very dangerous. Be careful yourself. After Zoro solved the last ice ghost infected person, he directly picked up Sanji and left the station quickly. Don't think about running. Quinn jumped into the air, head down, and dived down again. The Brachiosaurus bomb. Jinbei folded his hands together, so big. Drink. Water-style water dragon bite. A huge stream of water rose into the sky. Quinn was startled, and it was too late to escape. Boom. Quinn's head collided with the current. Sea water is the nemesis of those who are capable, not to mention the water style displayed by Jinbei. Quinn pierced directly into the current, trying to rush out of it. But how could Jinbei pass up such a good opportunity? The water flow quickly gathered together to form a huge water dragon. After the water dragon spun a circle, it smashed directly into the ring. Boom. The ring shattered again. Quinn turned into the body, lying on the ground in a very embarrassed manner. Bring out the antidote. Quinn. Jinbei is worried about Sanji's danger and asks for an antidote directly. Hiki. I'll give you a teacher. Quinn said half of his words, took out a gun, and without any hesitation, shot Jinbei directly. Boom. A poisonous green mist enveloped Jinbei. Zombie poison. Chapter 144. Who is it? Jinbei. Zoro shouted. He was holding on to Sanji now, and he couldn't do anything. If you care so much about your companion, go down and accompany him together. Quinn immediately turned into an orc form and slammed towards Zoro. Water-style water barrier. A huge water curtain blocked it for Quinn. You're all right. Quinn was also a little shocked when he saw Jinbei who was safe and sound. The virus he developed, even Kaido was a little scared. Jinbei has nothing at all. One of the 3 signatures of the 4 Emperor's Beasts pirates is also the frog in the bottom of the well. You know the vastness of this world. Jinbei is very disdainful. After he joined the Straw Hat Pirates, he gained the magical ability to communicate with water. He spends time with Bai Yu every day, and his vision has completely changed. If he said before, he would still be a little afraid of Quinn. But now, he can only laugh. Court death. Quinn roared and rushed directly to Jinbei. Jinbei stood there, motionless. Boom. Yin Yin's fist pierced Jinbei's body directly. 213. If you want to kill me, let Kaido come. Water-style water prison technique. Jinbei's voice fell, and his body instantly turned into a ball of water, wrapping Quinn inside. Jinbei's abilities are really useful against those with abilities. Nami sighed very much. Controlling the water to fight is simply the nemesis of those who are capable. Being able to make a clone, coupled with Jinbei's Murloc nature, is simply a perfect skill. Robin analyzed calmly by the side. Pity I can only transform. Vivi lowered her head, very depressed. Don't think that transformation technique is weak, it's just that your imagination is not strong enough. Bai Yu shook his head. Any skill I gave you, if you can use it proficiently, your strength will increase by leaps and bounds. The skills of transformation technique are very powerful, but Vivi didn't make good use of it. Moreover, transformation technique itself is not a frontal offensive skill. At this moment, a figure rushed towards the ring. Boom. The ring began to shatter in an instant. Jinbei had no choice but to remove the water prison technique. Flame disaster, BCDG. Jinbei stood on the water, his eyes faint. Where there is water, he is really not afraid of these two guys. The three plagues of the beast's pirates. OMG. What the hell is this fight? The two major disasters, the fire disaster and the epidemic disaster, have already arrived, so will the drought also come. Are the beast's pirates also coming to compete for the devil fruit? The attraction of you demons is really big enough. The audience in the stands were also frightened. These big pirates with a bounty of more than 1 billion appeared one after another. Even Diamante, who was in charge of the commentary, didn't know what to say. He did not dare to offend any of these people. Not to mention him, not even Doflamingo dared to challenge it directly. Doflamingo, haven't you come out yet? Shall I destroy your arena? Yan said coldly. It's so reasonable to break the rules, it's worthy of the three disasters of the beast's pirates. Doflamingo appeared and said, hand over the devil fruit. Kai said directly. He had already appeared anyway, and he didn't want to waste time. And he almost saw the strength of the Straw Hat Pirates. It is not easy for them to deal with. However, it is not difficult for him to take away the magical beast devil fruit. The game is not over yet. If devil fruit is given to you, I can't explain it to others. Doflamingo spread his hands, a helpless expression. Yes, since it's a game, you must respect the game. Even the beast's pirates wouldn't dare to fight against so many of our pirates. We have no complaints if we lose the game, but now that we lose the game, it's a bit unreasonable. Don't you want the face of the beast's pirates? There are hundreds of pirates here, and there is also one of the 5 emperors, the Straw Hat Pirates. We are not afraid of you beast's pirates. Get the hell out of here. Or wait for Captain Luffy to blow you away. The pirates immediately quarreled. If it was themselves, they would never dare to be so arrogant against the beast's pirates 3 times. But now they are in great numbers. And most importantly, there is a Sea Emperor here now. Cough cough. Quinn woke up. Kai, let me go. I'm going to kill that damn blue fat man. Quinn's face was full of anger. One of the 3 dignified disasters, he was actually defeated by a blue fat man. This is absolutely intolerable. You are not his opponent. Go and solve those noisy pirates with Jack, and leave the rest to me. Jin threw Quinn aside. Brother Quinn. Jack said hello very politely. It came all 3 times. Don't be afraid of them. No matter how strong they are, there are only 3 of them. Yes, let's all join forces to kill them. Then we can be famous in the sea. This is an opportunity to play against the 4 Emperor's pirates. Forget it. The pirates were very excited. Hundreds of people rushed straight to Jack and Quinn. When the audience saw this situation, how dare they continue to watch the battle, they quickly turned around and ran. Bai Yu, sir, devil fruit will be handed over to you first. I'm afraid I won't be able to keep it. Doflamingo threw a box directly to Bai Yu. Doflamingo, how dare you betray Kaido-sama? Kai saw devil fruit in Bai Yu's hands, and was very angry. I'm not from Beast's Pirates, and I'm just working with Kaido. Now that you're breaking the rules, I won't be working with you anymore. Doflamingo said with a smile. You wanna die? Kai roared and rushed towards Doflamingo quickly. Boom. Doflamingo was kicked straight out. After Bai Yu saw devil fruit, he immediately absorbed it without any hesitation. He asked both Vivi and Nami that neither of them wanted to take devil fruit. So he just absorbed it directly. After the absorption is completed, the devil fruit withers and rolls down immediately. Doflamingo, how dare you deceive me? Bai Yu roared and took devil fruit over. His eyes were full of murderous intent. When Doflamingo saw the dry and painful fruit, his whole body went dumbfounded. What about devil fruit? Chapter 145. Robin, I'll give you a hand. Dover, little lord. The cadres of the Don Quixote family quickly came to Doflamingo's side. Where is devil fruit? Doflamingo had a murderous look on his face. He clearly put the fruit in this box. It turned out to be a dry, rotten fruit. It's impossible. Devil fruit has always been in my custody, and has never left my side. How could it be stolen? Toripal was also dumbfounded. He clearly gave it to Doflamingo. How did it turn into a rotten fruit with dry marks in an instant? Bai Yu, it's you. Doflamingo looked at Bai Yu angrily. If you want to provoke a war between our Straw Hat Pirates and the Beast's Pirates, you're going to be a fisherman in the back, and you really think you're more beautiful than you look. Bai Yu sneered. Originally I wanted to give you a chance, but it's a pity that giving you a chance is useless. Bai Yu, we don't want to fight with you, hand over the Suzaku fruit, we beasts pirates and your straw hat pirates will not invade each other. Kai said with cold eyes. Who gave you the courage to talk to me like that? Bai Yu's voice fell and instantly appeared in front of Yan. Boom. One punch knocked the smoke out of the air and into the audience. Captain, to go to war or not to go to war, you decide. Bai Yu landed on the ground and looked at Luffy. Chopper, how is Sanji? Luffy asked. There is nothing to do, just take a rest. Chopper said. There is a price to pay for hurting our comrades. Whoever you are, beasts pirates, since you want to go to war. Go to war. Luffy said coldly. How dare you really declare war? Kai was also a little surprised. He didn't expect that Luffy would actually dare to declare war. There are only a dozen people in the Straw Hat Pirates. They dared to fight against their tens of thousands of veteran 4 emperors. It's just 4 emperors, our goal is to become kings. Why don't we dare to go to war? Bai Yu sneered. He had never put the 4 emperors in his eyes. The only thing he cared about was the red-haired Shanks who was fruit of face. The guy's strength is a mystery, and his identity is also a mystery. However, it is only a matter of concern. What a big tone. Don't think that if you are called 5 emperors, you are really 5 emperors. Rewards do not represent strength. Kai was very angry, this was the first time he was seen so clearly. He pulled out the long sword from his waist, and the flame of the blade burned. With a knife. That's fine. A smile appeared on Zoro's face, he drew his knife and rushed up. Ah, don't come. Help. Help me. I don't want to die yet. It's so cold, I'm going to become a monster. Those pirates who fought with Quinn and Jack were all infected with the ice ghost virus and turned into monsters. Destroy this country. Ha ha ha. Quinn was excited. He wants to turn all the people of the whole country into monsters. Stupid fat pig. God's punishment. Enel attacked Quinn directly. The scope of God's retribution is very wide, even taking Jack and those monsters to be hit. The monster disappeared instantly. Jack and Quinn crawled out in embarrassment. But there were no obvious scars on the two of them. Both of these guys are demon fruit powers of the ancient species, which are rough-skinned and thick-skinned. This kind of attack is deadly for ordinary people, but for them, it has little effect. Thunder fruit, it's really violent. Jack twisted his neck and took out the 2 shoulder knives behind him that looked like scythes. Run straight to Enel. Leave that big fat man. I'm going to avenge Sanji. Luffy rushed straight out. Don't you want to fight? Bai Yu groaned. 3 times and only 3, now Zoro has opponents with Luffy and Enel. The rest just sat down and prepared to watch the play. Dover, what shall we do? Torpal was completely dumbfounded and didn't know what to do now. Withdraw. Doflamingo gritted his teeth. He knew that Dressrosa couldn't keep it. Unless he is sure to beat Bai Yu. But he himself knew very well that he was definitely not Bai Yu's opponent. Doflamingo is going to run. Nami said quickly. It's okay, someone will stop them. Bai Yu's voice fell. Luo appeared in front of the Don Quixote family. Doflamingo. You can't run away. What about him? Isn't he under Doflamingo? Dot for flowers. Usopp asked suspiciously. It used to be, their relationship was a bit complicated. Bai Yu is also too lazy to deal with Luo and Doflamingo. Duhu, I want to stop me just because of you. Doflamingo is afraid to fight against Bai Yu and the 3 calamities. But Luo's strength, he really didn't take it seriously. Master Bai Yu, I can prove my worth. I can take Doflamingo's place in the dark world, and I can guarantee that I will do better than him. Luo ignored Doflamingo and shouted loudly at Bai Yu. Do. Doflamingo laughed, and then the smile disappeared in an instant. What a power. Monument. Luo was kicked out. Go if you want. You should also gain some practical experience. Bai Yu said. Jinbei, don't go, they won't have to play if you go. Nami, Vivi and Robin rarely make shots, and their strength progress is also slow. Of course, this is for Straw Hat Crew. There are also few fights between Chopper and Brooke and Frankie. That is to say, Usopp is a little better, but that is all the hands of Yan Shuangying. The strength of Don Quixote family is not strong, but it is not weak either. Just right for them to practice. Bai Yu, you will pay for your arrogance. Doflamingo gritted his teeth angrily, very angry. He never imagined that he would one day become someone else's whetstone. Just you. Nami sneered, did they really think they were vases? Eat me a railgun. Boom. The orange beam, with a powerful shock wave, rushed into the crowd of Don Quixote family. It seems to be underestimated, let me give you a hand. Sage art thousands of real hands. Senju cannon. Behind Robin appeared densely packed arms, which were quickly closed together to form arms comparable to those of giants. And the number of arms. There are no 1,000 but 800. What's the difference between letting one hand and not letting go? However, they have no chance to think. Because the dense fist has fallen. Boom. The whole arena began to tremble. It's like it's about to collapse. 10,000. Chapter 146. Can't even kill a pet. Bastards. I'm going to kill you. Doflamingo was furious. He underestimated the strength of these 2 women. Young master, leave us alone. Let's go. Live. You will definitely become the pirate king. Monet spread his wings and flew into the air, and snowflakes immediately floated in the air. Dover, I can't accompany you on the road in the future, but I believe you will definitely become One Piece. Go with sugar. Leave us alone. Torpal stood up with a cane, the mucus on his body kept rolling. Dover will avenge us in the future. Diamante gritted his teeth, and his heart was already enlightened. Dover, go. Pika's sharp voice sounded, and her body quickly merged with the stones on the ground, transforming into a huge stone giant, standing in front of Doflamingo. Doflamingo clenched his fists, his eyes blood red. These people are his family, 230. How could he be willing to leave them alone and run for his life alone? Since we are going to die, let's die together. Doflamingo roared, and a figure that looked exactly like Doflamingo rushed to the sky. Boom. The head shattered, and countless threads erupted. These silk threads descended like shooting stars, surrounding the entire Dressrosa. It's like a birdcage. Doflamingo's strongest move, Birdcage, is activated. If it wasn't for real despair, he would never have launched this move. Dover, Torpal and other cadres looked at Doflamingo in disbelief. Launched Birdcage, which means killing everyone. Don Quixote, family, we now declare war on the Straw Hat Pirates. Doflamingo shouted loudly, since the young master has declared war, let's stand. Let them see the strength of our Don Quixote family. Diamante let out a loud roar and charged forward with his sword in hand. Declared war, then I can also make a move, roar roar. Come out, skeleton warriors. Brooke directly started to summon the skeleton warrior. Too many people died in this arena, and hundreds of people died just now. These are all his soldiers. What kind of power is this? Skull summon skeleton. Whatever he is, let me die. Don Quixote family is not something you can beat. Encouraged by Doflamingo and top cadres. Those who had just been knocked down also stood up and fought against the skeletons summoned by Brooke. Let's have one hand. Then I'll cut all your hands off. Doflamingo looked at Robin angrily. With a wave of his hand, the thread went straight to Robin. What? Suddenly a large pair of scissors appeared and cut all the silk threads directly. I still want to hurt our sister Robin, I cut you first. Vivi looked at Doflamingo angrily. Becoming a female Vivi. Doflamingo's eyes were connected, and the strength of these women had completely exceeded his expectations. You will suffer a lot if you underestimate a woman. Robin's arms were crossed, and his dense arms came out from under Doflamingo's feet. Nami took out a 50 Bailey coin with a distressed expression and flicked it. Super electromagnetic cannon. Boom. The orange beam went straight to Doflamingo with a powerful shockwave. Dover. Pika's sharp voice sounded. Golem stands in front of Doflamingo. Pieces of stone walls appeared, blocking the orange beam. But in front of the railgun, these stone walls are like tissue paper. The beam went straight through Pika's golem. Asshole. Doflamingo roared, and directly activated the Fruit Awakening ability. The dense white lines rose up, blocking the railguns. However, Pika's heart has been pierced. I want you to die. Doflamingo roared angrily, and everything around turned into white lines, sweeping out like a giant wave. Super. Frankie laser. Boom. Frankie's voice sounded, and the laser shot out. Countless white lines instantly turned to ashes. Hayuan Baibo. Doflamingo pressed his hands on the ground, and the ground under everyone's feet immediately turned into a white line. Frankie flew straight into the air, Robin pulled the wings behind Nami and flew. Vivi immediately turned into a bird dodging the white line of the ground attack. Brooke also uses magic to float in the air. Only Chopper and Usopp were left on the ground. Usopp had no idea where he was hiding. Chopper looked around and saw that everyone was flying, but he was still on the ground. Terrified eyes popped out. Straw Hat. The pets of the bunch, let's cut you first. 1,000 arrows pierce the heart feather strike line. Doflamingo's arms are crossed, and thousands of threads are wrapped around armament haki, surrounding Chopper like wings. Jump boost. Chopper quickly jumped into the air to avoid the attack. But the dense line also followed. Scalpel. Chopper used both hands and feet to frighten, and the green scalpel quickly cut the white line that came up. The sturdy white thread is easily cut like cabbage. Brooke, who was just about to save Chopper, froze for a moment, drew his sword and tried to cut the white line, but it was as hard as iron and could not be cut at all. But Chopper cuts it off with his hands, which is amazing. Doflamingo was also a little confused. The thread he wrapped around armament haki was easily cut off. And it's a pet he's never seen before. Chopper himself was stunned, he was just using the scalpel in healing jutsu in a hurry. I didn't expect to be able to cut these white lines. You're done. Chopper turned directly into human form and charged directly at Doflamingo. Not afraid of these white lines anyway. Shield white line. Doflamingo quickly blocks Chopper. The white thread that wrapped armament haki was easily cut off. He didn't dare let Chopper get close. Snow Rabbit. Monet quickly waved his wings, released a number of snowballs similar to white rabbits, and went straight to Chopper. Don't forget our existence. Robin crossed his arms, and Monet's wings and legs grew many hands. Click. Monet's body became two halves. Logia is really troublesome. 3.6 Robin also awakened armament haki, but haki is still very weak. It's still a little difficult to directly damage Logia's body. Frankie Iron Fist. Frankie stretched out his fist, but instead of punching it out, he just started breathing fire. The bunny-shaped snowballs all melted instantly. How despicable. It's obviously a fire breathing, but it's actually an iron fist. Monet was very angry, and if she hadn't discovered it in time, she would have been submerged in the fire. Die vile robots. Half-moon burial. Diamante swung out a sword, and a powerful slash went straight to Frankie. The Frankie shield. Frankie's arm turned into a large shield covering his entire body. When the slash was blocked, it's time to pull out my secret weapon, Frankie said, putting his hands behind him. Chapter 147. Frankie's Great Sword. Secret weapon. Awesome. Luffy's eyes lit up immediately when he was fighting. Chopper too, his eyes glowing with excitement. Even Usopp, who was hiding, looked at Frankie with bright eyes. You dare to be distracted when you fight with me. Quinn roared and punched Luffy. Boom. Bastard. Don't get me to see Frankie's secret weapon. Luffy got angry, shocked. Open. 3 blocks. 2 huge arms, armament haki, were entwined, and a pale blue gas appeared on his body. The tigress goes down the mountain. Boom. A shock wave in the shape of a huge white tiger instantly drowned Quinn. The arena was instantly hit with a huge hole. And Quinn was nowhere to be seen. And Luffy turned into a child the moment he was released. Brother Quinn, courting death. Jack roared, turned directly into a mammoth, and rushed towards Luffy. It's almost time, try my newly developed moves. Enel's voice fell, and he closed his eyes. God punishment Thor's sword. Lightning flashed in the sky, and quickly condensed into giant swords that shone with lightning. Fall. The thunder and lightning giant sword in the sky fell into the sky. Jack, get out of the way. Homura roared and went up to rescue Jack. 12 inches your opponent is me. Zoro stopped Jin directly. After fighting, he found that Chi's swordsmanship is not strong at all, but the strength and speed are very fast, and it also has a flame attack. This is still a great help for him to improve his swordsmanship. Naturally, he would not let go of this sparring partner that he finally found. At this time, the thunder giant sword had already fallen. Puff. The mammoth turned into a hedgehog. But the mammoth did not stop and was still running. Thunder sword is not that simple. Enel's voice fell. The thunder in the sky all flocked to the mammoth. Boom. The huge thunder bombarded the mammoth directly. The thunder sword exploded instantly. The powerful impact directly blew the smaller Luffy out. Ah, Bai Yu save me, little Luffy shouted. Bai Yu shook his head helplessly. He stretched out a hand, 37 of correction, hanging star. A white hammock quickly appeared in the air and caught little Luffy. It's amazing. It's so soft. Luffy jumped up on the hammock excitedly. And Jack has changed back to his original body, fell to the ground without moving, and the ground was stained with blood. Jack, Kai roared and forced Zoro back. I want to rush over to save someone. Since their battles are over, let's end it too. 3 swords profound truth. The tragedy of 6 paths. Puff. One of Chi's wings was cut off in an instant. Damn it. Kai gritted his teeth and roared, and the flames wrapped and covered the wings. Form a flame wing and rise into the sky. Escape alone. Where to run? Enel is going to chase directly. Forget it, let him go back and report. Bai Yu said. Hearing Bai Yu's voice, Enel didn't go after him. And this time, Frankie's secret weapon also came out. So disappointed. The excitement on Luffy's face disappeared immediately. Too ugly. Chopper groaned. Frankie, now is not the time to be funny. Nami roared loudly. She was looking forward to Frankie's secret weapon. After all, she has also seen the power of the steel battle suit. Who would have thought to pull out a flashlight? Duh. Is this your secret weapon? Doflamingo laughed too. He was also in a cold sweat. The funny effect is good, you should die. Diamante roared, the sword in his hand suddenly lengthened and stabbed Frankie quickly. Frankie lightsaber. With Frankie's roar, the large flashlight in his hand turned into a beam of light directly into the sky. Then hit it hard. After the Diamante longsword touched the lightsaber, the high temperature of the lightsaber instantly melted. The lightsaber fell, and Diamante's body fell to the ground in 2 halves. Diamante. Doflamingo exclaimed with wide eyes. The dilapidated arena was also cut into a huge crack by this sword. So handsome. Luffy's eyes glowed and he jumped up in the hammock. Amazing. I want a lightsaber too. Chopper's little face flushed with excitement. Super. Frankie put away his lightsaber and began to assume his classic pose. Frankie is so handsome. Usopp, who was hiding, stood up and shouted. It's you. Torpal spotted Usopp immediately and attacked directly. Frankie, help me. Usopp hurriedly called for help. He knew Bai Yu would definitely not save him at this time. Can only help Frankie, mainly Frankie's lightsaber is long enough. Sorry, the lightsaber is no longer available. Frankie also knew about Usopp. As long as Yan Shuangying's personality comes out, that disgusting snot man is definitely not an opponent. None of the others were going to save Usopp. You bastards. The last word has not been uttered. Usopp is directly wrapped in mucus. If you don't want him to die, just stand still and don't move. Torapal squeezed Usopp's neck and shouted. Actually, you should tie all his hands and feet. Grabbing his neck is a very dangerous thing. Bai Yu said very calmly. If Usopp was completely under control, it might even be possible to threaten them. But now, just slapping the neck. Do you really know that it's going to kill people? You should listen to him, but that's useless. Even if you control my hands and feet, I have 100 ways to kill you. Usopp's eyes changed completely, the fear disappeared, and only the cold killing intent remained. You. 230. Torapal said only one word. A blood hole appeared between the eyebrows. Slowly fell to the ground. Drag pull. Doflamingo's eyes were blood red, and his men died one by one. He is completely crazy. 16 holy murder bullets God punishment. Doflamingo roared, 16 strands of white line that completely covered armament haki and shot like Usopp. I cut. Vivi becomes scissors again. I want to cut the white thread. But this time, Doflamingo used almost all haki, and the white thread was so hard that it couldn't be cut at all. Sage art thousands of real hands. Senju cannon. Robin appeared in front of Usopp and started the ultimate move directly. Huge palms blocked Doflamingo's white line attacks. But after touching it, the palm was immediately crushed. No resistance. Robin, hold on. Chopper turned into a human form, his hands synthesized the shape of a calyx, and then slowly moved to his waist. The energy light ball appeared between the palms. At the same time, Chopper's arms are constantly bulging, and the already exaggerated muscles are even more exaggerated. Get out of your way. Chopper yelled at the doctor. Robin and Usopp dodged quickly. Turtle School Qigong. With the sound of Chopper falling, the hands shoved violently. The energy beam blasted out. Doflamingo's 16 holy bombs were instantly destroyed. But the energy beam did not weaken in any way, directly drowning Doflamingo. Chapter 148. Still the familiar formula. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. The arena that was already dilapidated. This Turtle School Qigong directly destroyed most of them. And Doflamingo was on the ground, the pink feather cloak was tattered. The body glasses are also broken. The birdcage in the air also disappeared. However, Chopper also fainted due to excessive consumption. When did Chopper become so strong? Luffy said very differently. Chopper has always worked very hard, but you don't see it. Chopper has fully mastered the first skill, but you don't. Bai Yu looked at Luffy speechlessly. But he also knew that the 8 inner gates formation, it was really not easy to be a complete master. The 8 inner gates formation is so demanding, I would have shattered my body last time if I hadn't used the haki bodyguard. Luffy is also very helpless, it is too difficult to open 8 inner gates. You have already opened it once. As long as you fully understand the state at the time, you can understand it. You don't need to open it before you can understand it. You also need to strengthen your exercise and learn from Zoro every day. Bai Yu shook his head, Luffy was just too playful. If he trained as hard as Zoro, his strength would definitely not be what he is now. Okay. Luffy lowered his head and said reluctantly. He knew that there would be no fun in penance. Okay. It's over, let's go. Bai Yu said and got up to leave. The matter here has been settled, and all that remains is the position of the king of this country. Liku King is a good choice. Although the old guy may not be very obedient, at least he will not be ungrateful. Young master. Woohoo. A little girl ran to Doflamingo's side. Where's the kid from? Nami asked strangely. She is not a child, she is a special cadre of the Don Quixote family, and all the toys in this country are made by her. Bai Yu recognized the sugar at a glance. This little girl is a dangerous person. The ability is simply a bug. It's over when you touch it. What? Everyone was very surprised. I can't believe that this cute little girl in front of me is the culprit who turned this country into a country of toys. Damn you all. Sugar looked at the Straw Hat crew with hatred. Toy army. Kill them for me. Roaring with anger with Sugar. The densely packed toys rushed in and surrounded them firmly. It seems that, you never showed up, you just turned everyone into a toy, right? Bai Yu looked at Sugar. Yes, don't you want to save this kingdom? These people are all the people here. If you attack them, all of them will die, if you don't attack, you will die. Sugar's little face is grim. Hey. Bai Yu sighed and said 2 words to Vivi beside him. Please do not. Vivi looked troubled. Don't you want to save this country? Now is your chance, go ahead and do it. Bai Yu smiled, he thought of a trick to deal with Sugar. Okay. Vivi reluctantly agreed and disappeared in place. What did you say to Vivi? Nami asked curiously. You'll know soon enough, just watch. Bai Yu smiled mysteriously. Then can we fight these toys? Enel frowned. You don't need to fight, it'll be fine soon. Bai Yu's voice fell. Vivi appeared in front of Sugar, and it turned into an extremely ugly, hideous grimace. What? Sugar's frightened eyes are about to pop out. After screaming, he fainted. As Sugar fainted, the toys also stopped. Quickly become one human after another. Some are pirates, some are palace guards, and more are ordinary people. There are also many animals mixed in. I'm back. Finally become a man. Woohoo. Very good. King Riku. It's King Riku. There was a commotion in the crowd. Kill him. It's because of him that this country has become like this. Unexpectedly, he is still alive. Kill him. Avenge our family. Many people will rush to kill King Liku. Stop. You have all misunderstood His Majesty King Liku. Back then, His Majesty was controlled by Doflamingo to do such a thing, you still don't understand. A one-legged warrior shouted loudly. Cyrus. Cyrus was recognized immediately. After all, he is a legend in this arena. It's time for us to go. Bai Yu didn't like this kind of atmosphere. Please wait. King Liku hurriedly shouted, quickly walked to the front of Straw Hat Crew. Puff. Riku Akoku then knelt on the ground. His Majesty. The guards were shocked. Although King Liku had already abdicated, in their hearts, King Liku will always be the king of this country. Thank you for saving the kingdom. Thank you. King Liku lowered his head as he spoke and put his hands on the ground. When the other people saw this, they also knelt on the ground one by one to thank them. Although they have become toys, they still have their own minds. Know who rescued them. Get up. We are pirates, not heroes, and it's just a matter of saving you. Bai Yu shook his head, he was really not used to the feeling of collective kowtow. Uncle, you are the king, right? Are there any banquets? Luffy spoke immediately. I'm no longer. Your Majesty King Liku, you will always be our king. Cyrus directly interrupted King Riku's words. Your Majesty Liku, all right, Your Majesty. Your Majesty King Liku. Your Majesty King Liku. Everyone shouted in unison. Well, in this case, I will temporarily take the position of the king, and after a while, I will choose a successor, after all, I am old. King Liku stood up, with tears in his eyes. Father. A little girl ran over. Rebecca. Cyrus shouted excitedly. The father and daughter hugged tightly. Uncle King, is there a banquet? Luffy asked again. Yes, yes, King Liku said quickly. Looking at the soldiers and people around him, as well as the father and daughter of Cyrus, the tears in his eyes could not be controlled. Ha ha ha, great, you can have a banquet after the fight. Luffy jumped up excitedly, and at this time, a figure fell from the sky. Chapter 149, The Real Man Golden Lion debuts. Light. Inappropriate moments in sports. Boom. The figure fell heavily to the ground. This person is no one else. It was one of the 3 disasters that had just escaped, Kai. It's just that Kai now has no breath. Who did it? Zoro frowned, and he saw that the wound on Chi's body should be a knife wound. The man above. Bai Yu pointed to the sky. Everyone immediately looked up to the sky. Then I saw a lot of ships appear in the sky. A flying ship. No, it's just an ordinary pirate ship, how could it fly? Many. I've never seen that pirate flag. Bai Yu shook his head. You must have never seen him before, because he was a great pirate more than 20 years ago, a legendary pirate with the same fame as Roger and Whitebeard. The Golden Lion Shiki. Forbidden, ha ha ha, I can't believe that someone still remembers me. The laughter of the Golden Lion came from the air. People also slowly fell down. Golden Lion, run away. His Majesty King Liku, let's go. The people fled in fright. The soldiers also immediately protected 230 around King Liku. Uncle, why do you have a rudder stuck on your head? Luffy asked suspiciously. Garp's grandson, sure enough. Golden Lion glanced at Luffy, his eyes fixed. He was also chased by Garp back then, and he was also caught by Garp when he was imprisoned. Now that Luffy is directly talking about his pain, he'd be surprised if he were happy. I advise you to leave quickly, your 2 old enemies are here. Bai Yu knew very well that the 2 old men, Sengoku and Garp, had not left yet. It is estimated that these 2 old guys should know that the Golden Lion will appear here. All squat here. Sure enough, these old guys are old foxes. What? Golden Lion was taken aback for a moment, and some did not react. Shiki. The Garp people arrived before they called. Shiki, you can't run away. Sengoku's voice followed. Garp. Sengoku. Golden Lion also roared when he saw the 2 old men. I'll just say, let you go quickly, I guess you can't go now. Bai Yu spread his hands and said helplessly. Bai Yu, don't forget, you are also a pirate, the 2 of them won't let you go, we will kill them together. Golden Lion was also a little nervous. These 2 old guys faced a lot of pressure when facing one of them alone. If they faced 2, the outcome would have to be arrested. Catch us. Bai Yu smiled. Luffy, what are these 2 people's names? Grandpa. Mistress. Luffy answered honestly. Bastard boy, don't yell. Sengoku's face turned black in an instant, even if he was called Eri, he wouldn't do it. Calling a mistress is too much. Ha ha ha, Shiki, don't run away, this world is no longer suitable for you, go back to prison with us. Garp laughed, and he was satisfied with the name Luffy called the battle. You'd better think clearly, there are more than a dozen floating islands now at an altitude of 10,000 meters. If you dare to attack me, these islands will fall here. The Golden Lion shouted immediately. Shiki, what the hell are you going to do? Don't you think it's bad to be your legend? Sengoku said coldly. You 2 old guys are still hanging out on the ocean, why can't I? Golden Lion sneered, do you think I'm avoiding you by hiding my whereabouts for 20 years? Golden Lion, Don't think about making trouble, I won't let you go. Garp clenched his fists, and he was also a little afraid. Golden Lion is a total lunatic. If really let a dozen suspended islands fall on Dressrosa, then it's going to end here. Garp, your BCDG son has become the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and your grandson has become a pirate. You have had a really good time these years. Golden Lion directly turned on the taunt mode. You have retired too, why are you working so hard? Shiki. Garp's iron fists clenched, ready to go. Shiki, you should surrender. With your strength, you cannot fight against the world government. Sengoku shook his head. Although he didn't know the specific plans of the Golden Lion, he could guess some. Golden Lion is nothing more than wanting revenge against the world government. If one person could destroy the world government, then the world government would have ceased to exist. Sengoku, you think too highly of the world government. I may not be able to completely destroy the world government, but I can still change the Holy Land Mariajoy. Otherwise, you can try, for example, let this place disappear first. Golden Lion said, and put his hand on the ground. Golden Lion, I don't care what you do, you can't move this place, otherwise, it won't be as simple as 2-on-1. Bai Yu knew the power of the Golden Lion. If Dressrosa is taken into the air by the Golden Lion, it will be ruined. Dressrosa is one of the bases he reserved. Can't be destroyed by the Golden Lion. Bai Yu, I know your strength, you and I join forces, this world is ours. Are you really going to fight against me? Golden Lion's eyes were faint. He came here mainly to invite Bai Yu. If he could, he really didn't want to fight Bai Yu. Hegemony, I have no interest in the world, and I don't have such a big ambition. I just want to follow this group of idiots and have a free adventure on the sea. Bai Yu shook his head. If you leave here, I won't shoot at you. After all, you are a real man, and I admire you very much. The Golden Lion dared to brave the naval headquarters alone and cut off his own feet in order to escape from prison. This is definitely a pure man. It's just that the ways are different. He and the Golden Lion are destined to be different. Of course, if Golden Lion joined the Straw Hat Pirates, he would be very welcome. Bai Yu, as the deputy captain of our Straw Hat Pirates, so I won't go with you. Bo. Luffy shouted loudly. Bastard kid, I get mad when I see your hat. The veins on Golden Lion's forehead burst out. If it weren't for Garp and Sengoku, he really would have taught Luffy a good lesson. You have a grudge against Shanks? Luffy asked suspiciously. I don't care about that kid. Golden Lion said disdainfully, I'm talking about Roger. One Piece Roger. Luffy froze for a moment. Your hat was given to the red-haired kid by Roger back then, but I didn't expect that the red-haired kid would give you this straw hat. The Golden Lion is once again in spoiler mode. As this hat worn by One Piece Roger? Luffy took off his hat and stared blankly. Chapter 150. The Vinsmoke Family. This is my most precious hat, I will give it to you for safekeeping now, and return it to me when you become a powerful pirate in the future. This is what Shanks said when he handed the hat to him. Luffy has always regarded this straw hat as the most important treasure. But I didn't expect that this straw hat was actually worn by Roger, the Pirate King. It seems that you don't know yet, that red-haired kid didn't tell you. Golden Lion smiled. Okay, don't sell your old age here, you're too embarrassed to say that, hurry up and leave. Bai Yu waved his hand, a little impatient. He found that the Golden Lion guy was a little abnormal, probably because of his brain injury. Garp, Sengoku, we're here today, next time we're having a good time. Golden Lion said and flew into the sky. Garp and Sengoku didn't stop, mainly because they were afraid that the lunatic Golden Lion would really drop the island in the air. After all, that lunatic dared to go to naval headquarters alone, there was nothing he couldn't do. Aren't you two going to chase? Bai Yu looked at the two old men. Bai Yu, you guys hurry up too, Marine will be here soon. Garp hesitated for a moment, but spoke again. Sengoku glanced at Garp and said nothing. Well, since you told me a piece of information, I'll also give you a piece of information. There is a Marine Vice Admiral in the G5 branch, named Virgo, who is Doflamingo's subordinate. Bai Yu smiled. That's it, goodbye. Let's go now, and there is still no banquet. Luffy looked unhappy. I will have food and wine ready and delivered to your ship. King Liku said immediately from the side. He knows the identity of Straw Hat Crew, but also the relationship between Straw Hat Crew and Marine hero Garp, and former Marshal Sengoku. So there is nothing to be afraid of. If it weren't for Marine, he would really have to thank the Straw Hat Crew. Uncle King, you are such a good person. When Luffy heard that there was another banquet, Luffy felt better immediately. Luo, come here, Bai Yu shouted. Luo immediately walked over honestly. King Liku, Luo will stay to help you in the future, as well as that scientist, they will not cause trouble. Their abilities can quickly restore Dressrosa to its former prosperity and become even stronger. Bai Yu was not polite either, he kept Dressrosa in order to make it one of his bases. The next base is Wano-Kuni, followed by Elbaf, the home of the giants. These powerful places will become his bases. Of course, if possible, he would not let go of the Fur tribe on the Lord's back. The Fur tribe's strength under the full moon night is very terrifying. It is also a good group of combat power if you train it well. Garp, we've made a mistake. Sengoku looked at the Straw Hat crew leaving and took a deep breath. It's not. This is the first time. Do you really plan to take action against them? Garp buttoned his nostrils and patted Sengoku on the shoulder. Bastard. You rubbed booger on me again. Sengoku roared. Cheers. Straw Hat crew was very happy to start the banquet. Although there were some surprises, they still had a lot of fun. Thousand Sunny is slowly driving on the sea. When the people on the boat were tired, they lay down on the deck and slept. Bai Yu, is this straw hat really worn by One Piece? Luffy asked suddenly. Does it matter? Bai Yu smiled slightly. You want to become One Piece. It's not that simple. It's not just a matter of strength, but also your heart. After speaking, Bai Yu also closed his eyes. Heart. Luffy scratched his head, looking at the straw hat in his hand. Then fell asleep. However, there was still one person who did not sleep at this time. This person is Sanji, because today Quinn spoke out about his identity. His identity is exposed, which is not a good thing. The most important thing is that his beast father is still saying kisses for him. He knew that the family would come to him soon. Needless to say, he knew that that despicable guy would definitely use all means to threaten him. After a night of silence, the sky soon lit up. Everyone also woke up from their sleep. The ship immediately became lively. For flowers. The Straw Hat Pirates are really lively enough, my dear brother, how have you been all these years? Reiju appeared on the boat with a smile on his face. $8. Sanji never thought that it was his sister who came looking for him, and he came so quickly. Sister. Everyone looked at Sanji and Reiju in disbelief. The two are really alike, at least their eyebrows are curled up. Hello, I'm Sanji's sister, my name is Vinsmoke Reiju, thank you for taking care of our family Sanji so much. Huang Mei smiled at everyone and made a brief introduction. Hey, Sanji actually has a sister. Vinsmoke. Seems to have heard of it somewhere. Isn't Sanji an orphan? Why does another sister appear? Point 0. It seems that what the poisoned fat man said is true. Miss Huang Mei, can I see your panties? Boom. Who will show you? Nami knocked Brooke out with one punch. As this pirate group the 5 emperors. Like a bunch of idiots. 2 more men appeared. One in red and one in blue. IG, Niji, why are you two here? Didn't I tell you not to come? When Reiju saw the 2 of them, his brows instantly wrinkled. If we don't come, I don't know if you will let this waste away. Ichi said coldly. Sanji, come with us, father has prepared a marriage for you. Niji spoke up. I won't go with you, get out of here before I get angry. Sanji looked at the 2 indifferently. If there was anything in the Vinsmoke family worth his attention, it was his sister Reiju. He didn't care about the lives of others. Trash. How dare you talk to us like that? IG, don't talk nonsense with him, take it away and talk. Their eyes were cold, and they didn't think of Sanji as their younger brother at all. Since you know that our Straw Hat Pirates are the 5 emperors, how dare you be presumptuous here? Bai Yu snorted coldly, and the surrounding thunder continued to flash, and even the temperature in the air continued to rise. 10,000.